Hey Dynamite fans, I literally have a minute because we are getting ready for a show. So I wanted to give you a quick sneak peek of what's going to be on this Monday show, February 21st. We're going to have Wolverine and Teen Titans, and we're also going to have Ninja Turtles. How cool is that? And even some Action Comics number 1000. I'm pretty sure this is Brian Michael Bendis' signature. So Monday, February 21st, 6 p.m. only on The Experience. Rex is going to be there. I'm going to be there. John's going to be there. Even Robbie's going to be there, so please come check us out. Hope to see you there.
What is up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome, in fact, to Rockin Robbie Live. Returning after a 2-week hiatus, here we are, Rockin Robbie Live, Sunday night, February 20th, 2022. Coming up Tuesday, it's 2/22/22. And I'm just gotta say, if you're in Gotham City, stay away from the 2nd Street Bank and all kinds of things. How is everybody doing? Welcome here to Rockin Robbie Live. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the live show where we talk about comic books, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. We got a great show planned tonight, a grand return. We'll be talking about our favorite comic books of last week. We'll be looking ahead at what's coming up in comic shops this week, including the DC Comics sneak peek. We're going to be talking about Master of the Flying Guillotine, the latest movie in my Kung Fu Hong Kong cinema journey, led and guided by the sturdy hand of Bullseye Bob. We'll be revealing in full the March Madness lineup for both PCP Movie Night and Dylan's Horror Show. We got a little bit of Image in the 90s. Top 5 movies from 75. We're going to be talking about X-Men animated series, whole bunch of that and more. And even though we have grand plans for the show tonight, it is, of course, driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and your concerns. So get them in right now. Once you jump in, throw out a station. Let us know that you're here. Pop, pop, boom. It's time to kickstart the room. What's up? We got Comics Kings in the house. Brando joined us last night, I should say, for his very first appearance on Dylan's Horror Show. We talked about the newest Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and it's a terrible movie, but I kind of liked it. But it was a fun conversation to have with the homies. GT Comic, what's up? What's up, Billy? I know, man, I'm trying to avoid that conversation right now. What's up, Hamburger Basket? Good evening. How about those new spiffy DC matte finish covers? I thought it was neat, but isn't it kind of like a downgrade from the glossy cardstock cover? Now, I like the matte. I like the way it looked. I like the feel of it, but I don't know. It wasn't quite, I don't know. I didn't like it as much as the glossy cardstock, but that being said, Well, especially when it comes to DC, I'm mostly a cover A guy because why pay $1 more? Unless you really like it. What's up, Todd? What's up, PJ King? What's up, Twitch? Hating Comixology right now. You know, I haven't really been using Comixology in a long time, but I've heard all of the rumblings now that it's integrated into the Amazon site. The apps don't work, doesn't work on tablets, doesn't store your stuff in a good way like it never really did to begin with. So if you're a digital comic book fan and Comixology was your go-to source, and they have some really great solid stuff over there, I hear it's rough out there. Hey, Two Gun Pedro, pop, pop, boom. Hey, you're going to be the subject of a little bit of show and tell. I'll be getting back to you with the list. I got to find them there in the other box down there. But Two Gun Pedro, in case you're not here for show and tell, station. Thank you so much, brother. Our Ariaga's in the house. We got D-Met's in the house. 80s dance music intro. I've never been early. First time I'm hearing it. Yeah, that's the fantastic Rockin Robbie theme there for Rockin Robbie Live. What's up, Adam? God, it feels good to do comic talk, baby. Hell yeah, it does. What's up, Spilio? How you doing, my man? What's up, Circumstances? Yeah, I hope everybody had a great Sunday too, Brando. What's up, Boo the Brew? Moni. Jacob? Honest question, is Substack still a thing or did it not really work out? Anyone, please let me know. It's still a thing. People are still trying to do some things. I know Verno and Nick are all in, I think, on the Tynan and the Hickman one, and they've talked with us a little bit. I'll mention it. I forgot to set up the graphic for Thursday night's show. But Thursday night, monthly comic book review, live here with me, Jim Mint Collectibles, Verno from the Cerebros, Nick Comic Culture, Joe Corallo, and Greg from Bearded Comic Bro. So join us for that Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll talk a little bit there. I know that Grant Morrison is now over at Substack doing newsletters, I think right now, with the promise of future work. But I haven't signed up to any Substacks. I'll just wait for it to go on paper. I don't know. The Grant one's pretty... The Grant one, honestly, is pretty tempting. Pretty damn tempting. Circumstances alive for another day of comic books. Hell yeah. Who else in here? JC's in the house. I'm dropping Venom. Gave it 5 issues. Big letdown. I would say that... is Venom a letdown for me right now? I gotta think about this. I would say probably so. But I'm still... I mentioned this on my little IG stream I did Wednesday night. That I always buy Venom comics because I love the character. I've been buying Venom comics since the 90s, right? And so, like, it's rough. It's rough because, like, I don't think it's necessarily bad, but it's not what I'm wanting or looking out of a Venom story. I don't like it when Venom stories go ultra cosmic, but that's just me. We'll see how it pans out. We'll see how it pans out. Hey, we got Bueller in the house. I came for the toys. Let's see the first editions. Bueller is also going to be a subject during show and tell tonight, quite possibly so. I'll show something real quick, if I can reach it. So Bueller sent me a box of some of his toys that he couldn't fit, I guess, in the Bueller van, the Bueller bus. And here's one of them that I always wanted this damn figure back in the 90s. Smart Hulk from the Hulk line Toy Biz. And now I have it. This is the same body they used, I think, pretty much for an Apocalypse figure. A little bit of tweaks, but proud to have that from my man Bueller. Let's just kick up Hulk right there in front of Snake Mountain. Brando says Comixology could kiss my ass. Alex says, Station can't wait for the new Barbaric one-shot in June. Yeah, me too. That's going to be really, really pumped. That's going to be really, really pumped. I think it's going to be really awesome. Lots of people in the house. What's up, Manny? I ain't blaming Rom. Marvel's definitely not letting them shine. I agree with that, JC, 100%. But there's difference between work for hire and, like passionate work that you do. That being said, Radio Apocalypse #2 is out this week. Should be. I got it in my inbox. I haven't read it yet, though. Da-da-da-da-da. 62 Lefty Blues is in the house. What is up? How you doing? Lots of cool people in the chat already. Thinking about getting the Music Astro City Metro book trade paperback coming out in March. Pros or cons to note on the series. Jacob, I really, really like Astro City. It was one of the best superhero comics, one of the best, I think it's one of the best comics in the late 90s for sure. And it's one of the best superhero comics, I think, in the 90s. We actually reviewed on Comics Revisited back in November the whole first 6-issue miniseries of Astro Cities. It was a great conversation, so you should check that out if you ever have time. PJ says, I am enjoying Venom, love Hitch's art, but I understand why people don't like it. I prefer the Ron V. Dillon arc more than the Eddie Brock Ewing arc. Me too. And that's one of the things, and it doesn't feel super cohesive, and we just, I don't know, the whole, like, this Meridius guy or whatever, I think it's pretty obvious that it's Eddie Brock at some point, some future, some reality. I don't know. I hope that's not the case, because that would be disappointing. But nothing super exciting. Like, I don't know, man. Time, space, wonky stuff involving Venom. I'm really more excited right now for the Venom Lethal Protector series that David Michelinie is coming back to do, because that's just going to be like 90s Venom killing crooks and protecting innocents and occasionally have a craving for brains. Bring back the Hellboy song. Did it ever leave? Twitch says, I'm intrigued to see where Venom is going. It has potential, but the two-writer approach risks it feeling disjointed. I agree. We'll see what they start doing with it. I did like how some of the story was kind of overlapping with some of the previous stuff, and I like some of that stuff, but basically it's just, that's not what I'm necessarily wanting out of a Venom comic. I don't like it when it goes super cosmic when it comes to Venom. But that being said, they're giving me the Venom book I really, really want, and I am going to see how this develops, because I love Venom as a character. I think Eddie's pretty dope. I got a Eric Larson Venom poster right in front of me. He's holding Spider-Man's head. You know the cover. It's at 347. It's a great, great comic book cover. Anyway, got a great week lined up here at PCP. What's coming up? First of all, tomorrow night, we've got, where is it? Gotta find where I put all the stuff. Tomorrow night, PCP movie night. That's right. We're going to be talking about Weird Science. That's at 8 p.m. Central Time. Saturday night at Dylan's Horror Show, we're going to be talking about The Gate. Really, really excited about that. And I've already told you about Thursday night's chat with me, Jim Mint, Verno, Nick Comic Culture, Bearded Comic Bro, and Joe Corallo. So join us. We'll be talking about our favorite comic books of the month. That's Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. By the way, you should check us out on Facebook and on Instagram, Pop Culture Philosophers. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can follow me on Twitter at Rockin Robbie. You can support the channel over at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons and patriots right there. For instance, podcast is back, baby. We recorded the Bondcast, had some difficulties, had a lot of fun, great discussion. Patrons have access right now to the live recording, so go check out patreon.com/PCP, and you can watch almost 3 hours of unfiltered, unedited PCP podcasting before the audio is available to the general public. So anyway, and once again, tomorrow night, PCP movie night, Weird Science, 8 p.m. Central Time, and Dylan's Horror Show this Saturday night, The Gate. Going to be a grand old time at the opera tonight. Manny says, can't wait to chat Weird Science. Yeah, me too. Robbie, look at your Instagram. Why? What's going on Instagram? Travis sent you a photo, it says. Brah! That is dope. I'm getting a side view of the Bueller bus, and I don't know if he's shown this publicly. No, it says sneak peek. Hell yeah. Bruh, that looks dope. That looks so damn dope. Y'all are in for a treat. That looks great, bruh. What's up, Dave's Collection? Robbie loves weird science. I do like weird science. It's just interesting. It's got a clunky third act. I'm going to say that. I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022's got a better third act. Oh, man, we're going to have fun tomorrow night. We got Fable making his first appearance on PCP Movie Night. It's going to be great. Trenton's in the house. Another Monday without the coffee and comic show tomorrow. Let's hope we can make it if I miss the show. Bueller did go live last week. It's going to be a hard habit for him to break. Bueller says, I want to see your reaction live. You saw it? That's dope, bruh. Oh, the gaping hole talk last night. That was a weird bit. That was a weird bit to get into. Did you use the nudes I sent you, Travis? Yeah, hell yeah for the gate. Love that one. Really excited to revisit that. It's been forever. Some of these movies that we've been revisiting lately on Dylan's show. Well, not on Dylan's show because we've been watching. But we did do Blood Diner, and that was a light. That was a shining light. But on PCP Movie Night, we've been doing these movies that most of them I haven't watched in like 20 plus years. So some movies that I would say are my favorites, but I haven't yet. Ronald's in the house. Ronald, by the way, I got your message. I haven't received it yet, but I checked the tracking, and it looks like it's going to be here like tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it, seeing what you sent, buddy. Thank you so much. Twitch says, never seen Weird Science the movie, only seen the show. That's why. Was that on USA? I remember that show. I used to watch that show. I used to love the movie, though. I loved all those 80s movies when I was a kid. Video store junkie here. Well, we appreciate you checking out whenever you can, Trenton. It's awesome, the support. Robbie, it's so rad to revisit movies and have renewed appreciation. I feel you, bro. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Spilio, thanks for the talk and By the Horns. Bought all 8 issues and it was a great read. Oh, I'm glad you really dug it, Spilio. I like that book a lot. It blew me away. There's some Scout books I really, really like, but that one really blew me the fuck away, man. All right, before we really get too deep into it, it's time for the first 6. Bueller and them used to do a first 5. We do a first 6. We're going through the Blu-ray collection. First up, Mallrats. So we're in the Fs now. Reversible slip right there. Not a reversible slip. It's got the slip, reversible art. You know what I'm talking about. Mallrats. This is the new Arrow edition. This is really cool because it's got the theatrical cut. It's got the extended cut, which honestly is not as good of a film, but for like fans of just the world of this US universe, like it's really cool to see those deleted scenes and understand the references, because that used to just be something that we would listen to on the commentary. And it's got the TV dubbed version. That is hilarious, how they dub some of the stuff to make it less offensive. Next up, we got Masters of Horror Season 1, Volume 1. I bought this in particular because it's got Cigarette Burns by John Carpenter. I now have every John Carpenter film. That was important to have. It also has the Dreams in the Witch House. That's Stuart Gordon one. I really like that one. And The Fair-Haired Child. That one is William Malone. It's just okay. But I do love Masters of Horror. I plan on eventually getting all of them when I can. And then next up is my Matrix, Ultimate Matrix Blu-ray box set. They are individually cased, so they count individually. So there's 4 here. That's going to wrap up the first 6. But having really freaking detested Matrix Resurrections, this holds true as being, to me, the ultimate Matrix collection. So what we got in here? First of all, there is the Matrix Experience. That's all like the special features and things like that. Yeah, the roots of philosophy, all that kind of stuff. All right, and then, of course, it's got Matrix, The Matrix. Then it's got The Matrix Reloaded, which is probably my favorite in the entire franchise, to be honest with you. And then The Matrix Revolutions and Animatrix, which is freaking phenomenal. So it's a really cool box set. It comes with a book in there, too. It's got a book with some stuff in it. But I really like this box set. Hard case. It's got this like indented glowy Matrix code type stuff. So that wraps up the first 6. Boom. Shakalaka. So there we go. Now we're officially in the show. So what do y'all want to talk about? Let's get it. Weird Science was mostly filmed in Winnetka, Illinois, about 20 minutes northwest of me. Hell yeah. In the fictional town of Shermer, Illinois. So I do like all that stuff. Michael Berryman is the man. Love seeing him in all sorts of movies. Having to re-download all my books on Comixology, it stopped at 260. Bruh, it sounds like you're dealing with a big pain in the ass right now, man. I ordered the Blacksmith trade paperback. Should be in Wednesday. I hope you enjoy it, 62. I really liked that book. I thought it was solid. They're doing a sequel, so I was very excited to hear that. And I really think Liana's covers are some of the best covers I've seen her do. JC says, yeah, I bought By the Horns because of you, and it was one of the best series of the year. Thanks for the heads up on Crimson Cage. Just fantastic. There should be more wrestling comics. Some people would agree. A friend of mine, Jay Sandlin, wrote one called Over the Ropes that I liked. But yeah, there's not so many out there. But Crimson Cage just works even if you're not a wrestling fan. If you're just a horror fan or wanting to see Shakespeare done in a new light. But overall, if you're just a fan of comics of this medium, I think you're really going to freaking like that book. But I'm glad that you're digging By the Horns. And it's back in like April or something with book 2. And I'm glad that you're digging Crimson Cage. I love the hell out of that book. The way that Alex can is it Alex or Alec? It's Alex, right? Yeah, Alex Cormack. The way that he can show just insanity in the eyes. And it's his use of color. It's the use of color. I think his wife colored the book, but the absence of color on the eyes and the dark colors around it make them really pop, and there's this aura of madness that permeates some of his imagery, especially in books like Sea of Sorrows. Frickin' fantastic. Julian says, DC or Marvel Comics right now? I think they're both on my shit list right now. Right now, it seems like overall I get excited about more Image comics. So Image has kind of held the lead. The Boom and Vault were really up there for me for a while, and now they've gone down, I think, as far as my excitement for the entire line. Percentage-wise, there's probably more Image books, but there's a lot of Image books I don't read too, so I don't know. I once again, just like in indie stuff more than Marvel and DC, they're both on my shit list right now. But there are good books at Marvel, there are good books at DC. Out of the books Marvel might have an edge. I don't know, man. It's a really tough call to say what's the better between those. It's like, what turd smells the freshest, you know? My favorite Marvel book right now is Moon Knight. My favorite DC book right now, and I'm struggling, and I'm thinking, and I like some DC books. Liking the Williamson stuff, Deathstroke Incorporated and Robin in particular. I'm loving Ron V's Swamp Thing, so I can't wait for that to come back. But they also got Nice House on the Lake. They got some of the Hill House books. A little bit more diverse. Some DC Black Label stuff's pretty solid. Looking forward to that new Rom V. Christian Ward Aquaman Black Label book. Favorite book, period, right now, out of everything. I think it may have just wrapped up, and that was Primordial. I don't know. I was really, really hung up on Primordial. Outside of that, I just would have to go back to Ice Cream Man. Ice Cream Man blows me away every single time. So yeah, favorite indie, there you go. There's Ice Cream Man. Yeah, I'd go Ice Cream Man 100%. Yeah, I am liking Dark Knights of Steel. I am. Twitch has actually been enjoying the Amazing Spider-Man Beyond. It isn't great, but it is fun. Kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Thank you for the super chat, Daisy Falls. We really do appreciate it. We really do appreciate it. Super chats help to go support the channel, support what we do here, and bring you really cool things, of course, for just bits and fun little things for Image in the 90s and all kinds of fun stuff. So thank you for supporting the channel and helping us continue to do what we do. Hey, Fable's in the house. Sunday nights are lit again. Station PCP. Station Fable. My man, one collection down. Joining us tomorrow night for the Weird Science movie review. Also, I didn't get to watch it, but I'm assuming had a Bang and Blame Fable Tonight show earlier this afternoon. We are the official after party for Blame Fable Tonight. JC says, pre-ordered that Ice Cream Man Deluxe hardcover. That took way too long to happen. Yeah, because it's only the first 12 issues. Like, I was hoping it would be like the first 24 or 25, right? And like, that's why they waited so long. But it's the first 12 issues. It could be bigger, but the price isn't going to be too bad on it. Isn't it 12? Maybe it's 16. I don't know. But I am really looking forward to that because Ice Cream Man is not something that I collected from the beginning. I started just picking it up in the trades. I read it from the beginning, but I didn't buy the issues. And then when I did buy a big batch of issues, I sent them to Dylan. So as in an AOK. So I have some trade paperbacks and I am totally ready to upgrade. I buy Ice Cream Man now, but they always wind up in mystery boxes because I'm just ready for that freaking deluxe hardcover as well. That's what I'm saying. Does anyone have the Ice Cream Man Fresh Prince variant? I've been looking for that, says Daisy Falls. I do not, but if anybody can help you out, go for it. Amazing Spider-Man Beyond is like Eddie Murphy once said, if you're starving and someone gives you a saltine cracker, it's the best damn thing you ever had. That is true. So if all you're eating is Spider-Man, I guess, or you're just wanting some Spider-Man, I understand. Sleepy Reader in the house. Station, Damien. I'm glad they're doing the Ice Cream Man hardcover. I just got into comics this year, so I never got into Ice Cream Man until 23. Glad you got into it. And that's something that's really, really cool about Ice Cream Man is you can jump in at any time, but it's going to be a rewarding experience to read it from the beginning. Hey, Hammer Time Holshoe in the house. What's up, buddy? Hey, man, I checked out some of the podcast recording. I don't think it went as bad as I thought. So I'll send you the link, John, so you can check it out. But Patreon members have access to that right now. You can watch the whole unedited podcast, including all the stuff in between, like when we're talking shit about Justin's microphone before in between segments and shit like that. All the goof ups, all the fuck ups, they're all in there. Only for your eyes only. For your eyes only. Ugh. I led the music segment, and everybody's like giving like one or two songs. And I had like a top 10 with like 2 honorable mentions, and there was a tie in there. I listed like half of the damn songs. But I love Bond songs so much. What's your favorite James Bond song, everybody? Joram didn't start Ice Cream Man until the brown bag cover 19. Been on it since, thanks to Rockin Robbie. Station. Image is doing a lot of anthologies right now with Ice Cream Man and Silver Coin. It'd be interesting if they put out a Spawn anthology with different creators. That would be a really freaking cool idea, actually. Brando says, I'm so stoked for Marvel right now. They are doing... it just jumped on me. They are doing great things. I'm having a blast. Did he just say making fuck? Okay. More power to you, Brandon. I'm happy for you. I'm enjoying some things from Marvel, too. Oh, that's a good one. Diamonds Are Forever. That's a great one. Daisy Falls says, Tina Turner. You mean Golden Eye? Hell yeah. Twitch says, I hated Spencer's run, talking about Spider-Man. Beyond has plenty of questionable character motivations, but has slowly built into something compelling. Now to see how they fuck it up. Oh, man. Dun, 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 dun. I'm hyped about that Aquaman and Gambit. I am really pumped for that Aquaman. Gambit, we'll see. I know that Chris Claremont really, really loves Gambit and feels like they never did what he Chris Claremont still feels like Gambit never got what he deserved, and his whole story didn't develop in the direction that Mr. Claremont would have taken it. Of course, Claremont wanted to continue to write that book for 20 more years. Brando's excited for Gambit. I'm excited, though, to see him come back and just do his thing. Who's the artist on that? I can't remember. Jeff says, Diamonds Are Forever or View to a Kill. Duran Duran. What's a Hellboy song? Diamonds Are Forever. I wish they made more hardcovers. I love collecting books in the oversized hardcover format. I just got Saga Volume 2, and I am waiting on my Deadly Class 1 through 3s from CGN. Yeah, I really like those deluxe editions, too. I don't mind the omnibus. I have several. I really do like them. Sometimes, though, like I've been thinking about it, right? So there's certain things that I want to collect in an omnibus, where it's just like, you know what? Just for fuck's sake, just to get it out of the way, let's get the omnibus for this so I have it in a big chunk. Other things, I want to collect trade paperbacks. Other things, I want to collect single issues for. And I'm finding myself more and more books I want to collect or recollect or rebuy, repurchase from the 80s and the 90s. I am choosing original newsprint comics first and foremost, usually over. John, that was kind of like, it's interesting. That was a decent enough D's Nuts thing there, I guess. PJ King says, Gambit is aimless in the X-Men universe. I hope Claremont can put him on track again. Gambit is an awesome character. Now, this is going to be a story set in the past. It's a pre-first appearance Gambit story that involves his history with Storm, which was alluded to in those first appearances. Meeting you with a view to a kill. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Assassination. Are you a fan of Madonna's James Bond opening thing? Frankenfrog, I actually am. I really do like that song. What's the best Moon Knight run? Trenton, I've heard the Dave Minch, is it Minch? Doug Minch and the Sienkiewicz stuff or whatever. I hear that stuff's really good. I have never read that. I read just a handful of things back in the 90s. So to me, my Moon Knight experience is very limited. But what I have read, I've read Round Robin from Amazing Spider-Man Mark Bagley days, Night Thrasher, keep thrashing, but Moon Knight was in that story. I've read him in Secret Avengers and other things like that. I love the Warren Ellis run. I love the Brian Wood follow-up. Kellen Bunn's run is just kind of okay. And then I really like Jeff Lemire's run. And then I haven't really liked it since Jeff Lemire's run until today. But I have a very limited experience. I have heard that the original stuff from like the, I guess that's the late 70s, maybe through the 80s, I hear that stuff's really good, but I've never checked it out. So since those issues are so freaking expensive, those aren't going to be ones that I'm going to try to find original issues for. Those will just be ones that maybe an Epic collection would probably be the best for me to get those, because I think they got the third one coming out soon. I think I'm really excited to check some of that stuff out, but I've never checked it out. But I would say out of everything I read, my favorite Moon Knight story is the Warren Ellis, Declan Shalvey run. From the Dead, I think is what it's called. Really good. Trade's out of print, so it's hard to get, but it's probably easier to get the issues. Dun, 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 dun. What's up, John Stout? What's up, placeholder? What do you think about the upcoming Flashpoint Beyond at DC? I'm looking forward to checking it out. I like Jeff Johns. I like the Flashpoint story. I thought it was fine. It wasn't his best DC event by far. It wasn't the best DC event ever at all, but it did its job for what it was trying to do. It had an interesting Elseworlds kind of approach to things. So, I mean, I'm interested to check it out, but I'd honestly rather see him do a new like Justice Society book or something. But that being said, that opportunity has allegedly passed by, and I'm more excited to see the continuing of the Geiger universe, because that stuff's been really cool. John Stout says, favorite 007 song is Live and Let Die. Sleepy Reader says, most Doug Minch comics are well worth a read. What did you think of No Way Home? Raimi bought to shit on it? What? Raimi about to shit on it? Is that what you're saying? I liked No Way Home. I thought it was cool. It was a fun movie. It was a fun event movie. I really, really liked Willem Dafoe I feel, finally having a little bit more opportunity to be Goblin. So that was kind of cool. The movie works, but it's a fun event movie, especially for fans. And I thought it was Andrew Garfield's best performance. 100%. Got another manga on deck. I actually am not going to have a Robbie's Reads ready for this week, so I'm going to have to stack some more of those up, so they may be MIA for a minute, but I do have more manga on deck. I've got, is it Gyo? Gyo? I got that Ito one to read, and then I've got the first big hardcover edition of a book called Drifting Classroom that I hear is really, really good. What's up, Chaos? I got the first hardcover of Berserk, and I was wanting to try to, I mean, my J Strick's always hollering about Demon Slayer. I was thinking about checking some of that out, but yeah. I bought a War of Hulks #1 floppy in great condition for $30 in a comic shop. It was well worth it for me, but it was priced right. Just curious what you think. War of Hulks? You mean World War Hulk #1? Is that up to, is that what you mean, World War Hulk? War of Hulks #1. What is that? Is that something? Let me look into that. War of Hulks #1. You mean World War Hulks? I wouldn't really know. I need a little bit more information. Speaking of DC events, any thoughts on Dark Crisis? I always get excited for Crisis events at DC Comics. There's a part of me that's still excited for it, but it's hard to bring that excitement to full force, especially so close to, yet, I really liked Death Metal. I thought Death Metal was great, so I am rolling my eyes at now is the time. Like, I thought maybe a little bit more time to build up into something new. But that being said, I'm eager to check it out. I'm excited for any kind of DC Crisis, but I don't have high expectations for it. Hey man, what'd you think about the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie? Steven, I thought it was a terrible movie, but I actually enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it, and it was kind of cheesy, and it was dumb, and it was a bad movie. But I actually enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5 you digs out of 5. We did a whole show about it last night over at Dylan's Horror Show. If you got time, you should check that out. It was a great conversation. Holshoe says, I was talking to my mom about Bond. She did not recall Lazenby, but looking through pics, she said the best looking one was Timothy Dalton. All right. Twitch says, Marvel top 3 for him right now is Moon Knight, Strange Academy, and Daredevil. Solid list. Top 3 at DC is Swamp Thing, Nice House on the Lake, and Dark Knights of Steel. Solid list. JC says, yes, Drifting Classroom is fantastic. Hell yeah. Chaos says, I was bored by Drifting Classroom, but I'm not the go-to guy for horror. All right, you right. What's up, C-Mill28? Hey, we got a super chat from Taki. What's up? Station. Got the PCP mystery box, and it was awesome. Thank you, Rockin Robbie. I have been catching the show on the rewinds. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for the super chat, my man. All right, Tucky, we really do appreciate that. And the question about World War Hulk, #1, I just looked it up real quick, and yeah, $30 is pretty fair for that book right now. That's crazy. I didn't realize that had gone up a little bit. Does Octopussy have a song? Yeah, that song is all-time high, I think. I fucking hate that one. Oh, and James says, because if it does, that's my answer. Well, the song is not called Octopussy. Did you read These Damn Kids? My LCS didn't have it, and prices are going up in the secondary market. I don't know if it was worth it. No, I didn't read that one. And I think we ordered a couple, but they were shorted. So I know a lot of the Bad Batchers, I think, have read that. So I think TM Nerdy might be the one to ask about that. What's up, architectural foam panels and columns? How are you? Demon Slayer's awesome, says Marco. All right. Drifting Classroom is incredible, and I'm not a fan of horror in any medium. Robbie, what are some of your favorite Doctor Strange books? I enjoyed The Oath and Jason Aaron's run with Chris Picciolo. I was disappointed by Aaron's run. I like the beginning of Cates' run. It kind of falls apart a little bit for me. But honestly, if I'm going to have to go with what's the best Doctor Strange run for me, it's the Ditko stuff. I used to read some of the stuff Midnight Suns related back in the 90s, but that stuff was all bad and cheesy. I really like it's Tony Harris did most of the covers and some of the artwork. It was the Marvel Knights. It was Doctor Strange Flight of Bones, I think. I really liked that one, especially when Tony Harris was actually doing the artwork. I don't know if he did every issue or if he just did the covers. But I liked that one. I liked The Oath. And the one with him and Doctor Doom. What is it? What's that called? What is it that disturbs you, Stephen, or something like that? Or Trial, Torment, and Tribulation, something like that. The Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom one. Torment... Shit. Y'all help me out. I'm blanking. But those are the ones I would recommend, I guess. Do you have a top 5 must-read comics that you would recommend to a comic newbie? Off the Dome, Batman Year One, Sandman, Preludes and Nocturnes. Let's see. Mouse. We Three by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. And must read. Let's see. Ronin by Frank Miller. Let's just throw that in there for some fucking reason. Why not? Top 3 current writers at Marvel and DC. Jed McKay, Ram V, Jed McKay, Ram V, Joshua Williamson. Ditko's run is wonderful, The Foundation. Yeah, I got the omnibus for that one. There's plenty that I would throw into a top 5 for new readers. Like if you're new, like Batman Year One is something I always recommend. If you're trying to get into certain things, like Bone by Jeff Smith. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to do with Robbie's Reads is, first of all, I'm trying to explore out into some manga with it, but I'm also trying to go back and spotlight books that not a lot of people talk about. So right now I'm focusing mostly on Daniel Clowes stuff, but I got some other plans to veer away from that eventually. I'll say it again. Can't wait for Precious Metal. Me neither. I can't wait. It all depends on the person, but like Preacher is something I would recommend to a lot of people. Some Sin City, early Sin City, Hellboy. His name is something I would recommend to certain people. If I knew that you would appreciate the aesthetic, I would recommend the hell out of some early Madman. Stuff like that. So. Top current overrated writers. Overrated writers. Al Ewing. Overrated writers. I go Al Ewing for sure. Tom King for second. And Donny Cates, maybe? Not saying he's not good, but just maybe a little overrated. Wow, can't believe I almost missed the stream. Station artist formerly known as Jesse Say. What? All right, let's get into talking about comic books, our favorite comic books from last week. What did you read? What did you pick up? But what out of everything you read was your favorite? What, in fact, was your pick of the week? My pick of the week was Primordial issue number 6. This is the final issue of this arc. I freaking loved it. A very quick, easy read. I read it 3 times back to back, and I absolutely loved it. The artwork, super freaking phenomenal, psychedelic, incredibly just nuanced with the emotion on these animals, switching from style to style. I loved this book. Like I said, a really quick read. All in all, I think once this comes out in trade paperback, you could probably knock this out in like 20, 30 minutes. But some really cool, big sci-fi concepts going on. It's a little bit like We 3 meets 2001: A Space Odyssey. It even has some like really interesting concepts, I think. I think it's got a very simple ending that I had a discussion this week with some people about. And basically, I think what's happened is that they've evolved the human race. They've ascended it or something like that. It's very similar to me to the ending of 2001: A Space Odyssey, but I loved it because this book showed more than it told, and it went in areas that I didn't think it would go, and it took different approaches than I didn't think they would, and I really like this book. It comes across to me pure of heart and solid gold. So my favorite book this week was Primordial number 6, but there were some really good ones out there. So I want to know, what did you think of Primordial number 6, the ending, and what was your favorite book? What was your pick of the week? So let's see what people say. There's people talking about, whoa, Robbie, take that back. Which one? Jeff Lemire, like Ron V, rarely misses, says Julian. Bone, definitely, absolutely. Overrated, Scott Snyder and Brian Michael Bendis, in my view, says Sleepy Reader. All right. Robbie, you only live twice, Bond song. You only live twice. Nancy Sinatra. Tom Taylor's overrated, says PJ. Superman All-Star is a great one, Ronald. That's one of my favorite books. Twitch at Marvel, I got Sadarsky, Young, McKay. DC would be V, Williamson, and Taylor. Alex in the house, I think I loved Primordial. Need to read everything together. Flash 779, it was awesome. Loved it. Animal Girl, says Comic Boom. That was a pretty solid one. I liked it. Todd Christian says, Green Lantern 11 was my pick of the week. It was fantastic. Thorne is doing a great job on this book. I just hope it doesn't get canceled. It hasn't been solicited for 2 months. Yeah, I noticed that. But I love it. I've loved the build-up. There were moments where I almost lost patience, but I stuck through, and the payoff has happened, and I'm digging the book. I think it's really, really solid. Comic Book Therapy in the house. Station Friends got to pick Nightwing for my favorite. I think that Nightwing was the best issue of all of Superman, Son of Kal-El yet. Alex says, favorite books this week were King Spawn, Primordial, and A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. Evil Face Bat says, I got my hands on the Silver Coin and Yojimbo. Both good reads for me this week. Definitely some Kubrick nods in that for sure. Marco says, Power Rangers has always been a powerhouse for Boom in my opinion. Art's not bad and I've enjoyed the story so far. Primos was okay too. R. Ariaga says, King of Spies was definitely my pick of the week. And I really liked last Thor issue. Panther's Crash Pad is my pick of the week, says architectural foam panels and columns. JC says, Crimson Cage wins the week for me. Honorable mentions, Green Lantern 11, Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, Silver Coin, and G.I. Joe Saturday Morning Adventures. That G.I. Joe Saturday Morning Adventures was straight out of the comic or the cartoon. Stefan says, Fantastic Four was my pick of the week. C-Mill 28, not a Black Widow person, but I've been liking this Black Widow run by Kelly. Hell yeah. I feel like I need to grab King of Spies before it's optioned. Yeah. Netflix is going to make it. You know it. Comics King says, King Fire, Conan has been fired, so is FF. Twitch says, missed out on most of my books due to order issues with my shop, so I have been reading Coates' Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda. Paul says, Reign 2 was solid. I agree. Big Herm's in the house. Station Big Herm. Bracine says, my pull list was pretty medium this week, but I've been rereading some X of Swords, which has been good. I guess Monkey Prince out of the newer books. Bro, does anyone read Godzilla? I haven't been reading Godzilla comics. Are they doing one currently? I know they did some one-shots not too long ago. JC says, I don't think I got the ending of Primordial 6. Maybe I need to be smarter. It's when they cube up, I think it's representing ascension. Read it all together and see what you think. Circumstances says, another vote for Crimson Cage here. Billy Power Max says, Cloaked was my pick of the week. Moni says, I agree with PJ. Tom Taylor is overrated. Nightwing is still my pick of the week. PJ says, Venom was my pick of the week, even though Hulk was fun as well. I know people are hating on it, but the book is a lot of fun. Love the art. Banner has always been a bit psychologically deranged. What do you think of the Gamma-empowered Peter Parker in Hulk 4? We've had Spider-Hulk before. No reason for anybody to lose their shit over this one. I mean, I think it's going to be neat. But we've seen Spider-Hulk before. This is a different version of it, obviously. But the spec craze on the Hulk book right now is ridiculous. But that being said, Hulk's starting to read a little bit more like it's like a 90s Image comic. And I think I'm starting to kind of dig it. I don't like the concept, but I'm starting to kind of dig it. Venom, on the other hand, I don't know. John Stout liked Cult of Icarus from Scout. I like that too. I thought that was decent. Big Herm says Hulk is the pick of the week for him. I read the original Rain story by Joe Hill. It was weird and crazy. Oh, cool. No spoilers, Daisy Falls. You'll come around on X Lives. I don't know, Matthew. We'll see. We'll see. Albert says, I think Primordial is awesome. I can't think of a better team in comics than Lemire and Sorrentino. Yeah, really good stuff. Philip says, Iron Fist actually won this week for me. I'm excited to see where they go and who the new Iron Fist is. What's Swordmaster? Classic Sunbow animation style in that G.I. Joe book. Is that the animation studio that did that? It looked just like it. It looked like screen grabs. What's up, Verno? Freak Force number 1. All right. I would love to see Cormac on Spawn. That would be dupe. That would be dupe. That would be dupe, man. That'd be dope. I haven't read the Crash Pad, so that's from Fantagraphics. Yeah, I missed out on that one. I'll have to check that one out. Ryan Otley on the art on Hulk is the best I've seen from him. I really like his artwork on that book. I think it's super solid. Yeah, I dug that G.I. Joe book. Looks like stills from the cartoon. Freak Force, the one with the dolphin? I don't know. Kasara's art in X Lives is pretty damn good, though. I don't think it's as good as this first, several issues of X-Force, but it's all right. It's not bad. Lost in Comics is in the house. What's up, my dude? I just walked in on Cormac on Spawn. Holy hell, that would be awesome. Perfect match. Yeah, that would be great. We were talking earlier about how great of an idea it would be to have a Spawn anthology book where you had different creative teams come in. Imagine John Lees and Alex Cormac doing a Spawn story. How cool would that be? Julian says, Batman the Night was fun. Have to check out Primordial. Verno says, Kasara's art has improved a ton since then. Well, not to all of us then, Verno. Still don't like the book. It's okay, though. I don't have to. Ryan Otley is up there with Del Keown, Gary Frank, Liam Sharp as a top Hulk artist. He draws a fantastic Hulk. I agree with you, PJ. That's really, yeah, for sure. Dean White was helping on the colors early on, though. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of in particular. I love Dan Moore's art on Once and Future. Ryan P., you're 100% right. Dan Moore is one of my favorite artists going on right now. Thinking of Brute Force. There you go. All right. Let's take a look at what's coming up in shops this week. I got the list pulled up. We got Detective Comics 1054, Snore. We got Saga 56, Amazing Spider-Man number 90, Action Comics 1040, Dark Ages 5, Berserker 7, Robin number 11, Miles Morales Spider-Man 35, Department of Truth 16, Catwoman number 40, The X-Deaths of Wolverine number 3, DC vs. Vampires number 5, Strange Academy number 16, Monstrous 37, Captain Marvel 36, Human Target number 5, House of Slaughter number 5, Black Widow 14, Ghost Rider number 1, a brand new Ghost Rider series. I believe this is Benjamin Percy. Harley Quinn 12, Iron Man 17, Gunslinger Spawn 5, Oblivion Song 35, Deadly Class 51, Teen Titans Academy 12, Task Force Z number 5, Ben Reilly Spider-Man number 2, looking forward to that, loved the first issue, Silk number 2, Silver Surfer Rebirth number 2, looking forward to that, really liked the first issue, Carnage Forever number 1, Deathstroke Inc. number 6, Devil's Reign, Villains for Hire 2, Blue and Gold number 6, Shang-Chi number 9, Star Wars High Republic Adventures 13, Elektra Black, White, and Blood number 2, Batman vs. Bigby, A Wolf in Gotham number 6, Supermassive number 1, set in the world of Radiant Black, if I remember correctly. Aquaman number 1, Aquaman Green Arrow Deep Target number 5, Miss Marvel Beyond the Limit number 3, Phoenix Song Echo number 5, Refrigerator Full of Heads number 4, Soul Plumber number 5, Black Hammer Reborn number 9, Philadelphia 19, Radio Apocalypse number 2, Step by Bloody Step is a new one from Image Comics. We got Sonic the Hedgehog 48, Orphan and the Five Beasts number 4, Power Rangers Universe number 3, Two Moons number 10, Wonder Woman Evolution number 4, Hardware Season 1 number 4, The Rush number 4, Out number 5, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero 289, Bolero number 2, Transformers Beast Wars 13, Red Sonja number 6, Critical Role, Tales of Exandria, The Bright Queen number 4, Joy Operations number 4, Cross to Bear number 4, Telepaths number 6, All New Firefly number 1, Grim Fairy Tales 57, The Heathens number 4, Aerosmith Behind Enemy Lines number 2, Vampirella Dracula Unholy number 3, Barbarella number 7, Heavy Metal Drummer number 1, Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose 132, Girl Scouts, Stone Ghost number 4, Harbinger 5, We Ride Titans 2, Purgatory 5, Usagi Yojimbo, Lone Goat and Kid number 2, Life is Strange, Settling Dust number 4, Distorted number 1, Transformers, War's End number 1, Star Trek, Klingons number 1, My Date with Monsters number 4, Mad Magazine 24, Quad number 2, that ain't coming out, Impossible Jones number 3, Dark Interlude number 3 is supposed to be coming out this week, but I don't think it is. So I think I'm in the part where these aren't the books coming out. So we'll just end it there. So that's what's coming up. What are y'all thinking? What are you excited about? We'll discuss that and more, including the DC sneak peek when we come back from this short break. We'll be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live.
Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent. And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself and my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate, bitch, you can fucking fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself and my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself.
Hey Dynamite fans, I literally have a minute because we are getting ready for a show, so I wanted to give you a quick sneak peek of what's going to be on this Monday show, February 21st. We're going to have Wolverine and Teen Titans, and we're also going to have Ninja Turtles. How cool is that? And even some Action Comics number 1000. I'm pretty sure this is Brian Michael Bendis' signature. So Monday, February 21st, 6 p.m., only on The Experience. Rex is going to be there. I'm going to be there. John's going to be there. Even Robbie's going to be there, so please come check us out. Hope to see you there.
Welcome back, everybody. Here to Pop Culture Philosophers, it's Rockin Robbie Live. Here on a Sunday night, we've been having a grand old time talking about comic books, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. I am, of course, Rockin Robbie Billups. With us tonight is a whole plethora of fantastic individuals in the chat. So station, the show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and your concerns. So get them in right now. What do you want to chat about? And let me just say, you should follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, you should join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can follow me personally on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. You can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts, blogs, and a whole lot more. And if you want to support the channel, you can can do so with the super chat, which I'm feeling a little bit loose. Plus, you can also join us over at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine individuals right there, and gain early access to the weekly comic book review in a downloadable audio file, as well as early access right now to the next episode of the podcast all about James Bond. You get the full uncut video. Nobody else is getting video. Nobody else is getting it uncut except for you. So Station, y'all can check that out right now over at patreon.com/PCP. We got lots of excitement coming up this week, including Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. Excuse me, it's that time of the month again. It's the end of the month. We'll be talking about our favorite comic books of February 2022. That's Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central. Me, Jim Mint, Joe Corallo, Verno from Cerebros, Nick Comic Culture, and Bearded Comic Bro. That's going to be a grand old time. Join me over at The Experience tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time, kind of pre-gaming a little bit before PCP movie night. And by the way, if you ever check out dynamicforces.com, you want to purchase something, be sure to enter Robbie at your cart. You'll receive 10% off. And then after that, tomorrow night, we got Weird Science for PCP movie night. We're going to have a grand old discussion starting at 8 p.m. Central Time. And then don't forget that Saturday night is Dylan's Horror Show, and this is the last show before we go head first into March Madness. The full lineup is going to be revealed later on tonight, but the gate is what we're talking about this week. We now pause for station identification. Hell yeah, it's going to be a grand old time in the old city tonight. That break music was great. Tripping out now. Thank you. I heard that one song called Bite Me is what it's called. I heard that on the, it was a new one that just popped up like a month or so ago on the YouTube Studio Music. And it's like, I'm just going to use this randomly one day. And so today was the day. Hey, we got Nick in the house. How are you doing, buddy? Looking forward to chatting with you on Thursday night. Thank you so much, Fable, throwing out the links to the PCP Army. Nick's building the Infinity Gauntlet Lego set right now with the little one. Nice. Hell yeah. It is that time of the month again. Rod says, my birthday is March. Hell yeah. Full on March Madness. Yeah, you're going to get the full March Madness lineup tonight. Patrons have already gotten it, and members of the PCP Army have already gotten it, but we're going to reveal it tonight, including all the luscious thumbnails designed by me and Mike. Thank you, Two Gun. He says, one hell of a panel for the Best Comics of the Month show. Absolutely. What happened with Jim Mint? Nothing happened with Jim Mint. If you're asking about the top 10 video, he decided to discontinue doing the top 10 video. But we still chat. We're still homies. Me and Jim Mint are cool. He'll be there Thursday with us. Hey, Spillio. Hey, brother. Who do you think will be the new Bucs quarterback? I have a feeling it might be Russell Wilson. That's an interesting proposition. Who could it be? What about Aaron Rodgers? Would you take Aaron Rodgers? Who is it realistically going to be? I don't know. Wilson or Rodgers seem pretty cool, but we'll see. We'll see if they want to deal with it. John, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had the sex with the demon. Demon was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Shit. And he fights with the man who's a fish named Abe. Now he fights with the fire starter named Liz. And an ectoplasmic mass named Johann BPRD. Hey! Thank you so much for the super chat, Spilio. And don't get too excited, guys. It's not back for long. But kudos to those who stayed to the very end of the stream we did 2 weeks ago or whatever, when the Hellboy song did come back. And then it came back again tonight, so you never know. I'm feeling crazy tonight. There goes Twitch's marriage, he says. Hey, we got Bob in the house. What's up, my man? Station, Bob. What about Bob? Albert says, the Bucks can have Baker Mayfield. To which Spilio says, no way. No way. All right. We talked about our favorite comic books of last week. We looked ahead at what's coming up in shops this week. Well, I read some of these DC books. Let's talk about them. It's time for the DC sneak peek. And we're going to kick it off with Catwoman issue number 40. I didn't really like the first issue, but I liked the artwork a lot. So I decided to give the second issue by Teenie Howard a try. And I will say that the script was a little bit better. It was a little bit more in line with the character. It was a little bit more paced well, I thought. And the artwork was still super slick. The artwork, though, is the best part of this. The story is just all right. It's decent. The second issue by Teenie Howard was a lot better than the first one for me, but the artwork maintained its fire intensity. So maybe I shouldn't have read it, because we'll see what happens, but I thought the second issue was better than the first. Let's just say that. Then we got Detective Comics 1054. I'm still loving the backup story. I really like this. Matthew Rosenberg, is it Fernando Blanco? I really like that backup story a lot. And yeah, Fernando Blanco. And I like how it's trekking through Gotham history and we can pick up where it's at now. I like all of that. This main story, though, this tower story, blows. Do not like it. Did not like that one. And the artwork, that was the worst. The artwork, the most clunky the artwork had been in that whole story so far. Refrigerator Full of Heads, number 6. This one isn't as good as Basket Full of Heads. Obviously, Joe Hill is not the actual writer of this, so it doesn't have his flair to it, but I like the story. I like the absurd, gory, grotesque, fun kind of nature of this. The artwork by Tom Fowler, not as solid as Leo Max from the first one. I would love to see him returned to have done this. I think that would have given it a little bit more of that style. But that being said, it's still a wild ride, and story-wise, I'm enjoying it. I think the script's pretty decent. Then we got the Human Target issue number, is this 5? Yes, issue number 5 of the Human Target. Tom King, Greg Smallwood, artwork fantastic again. Story, here's what happened. I start reading this book, and I'm annoyed by the style that Tom King is doing structurally with this story. I'm annoyed by it, and I'm like, okay, I really liked issue number 4, but this is where it's going to start dipping down for me. Then, by the end of this book, that style and the stylized structure really worked. It really worked for me in this. It's an off-characterization on a certain member of the Justice League International. I'm trying to get over that. But I liked how the stylish structure came together to produce an effect at the end of this issue, so I liked it. I rather liked Human Target number 5. But I didn't think I was when I first started reading it. Then we got Aquaman, issue number 1. This is by Brandon Thomas and Chuck Brown. Chuck Brown did the Black Manta series, and the Aquaman Becoming series was done by Brandon Thomas. They are now working together to do not just an Aquaman book, but an Aquaman book. And it's not, here's the thing, it's not just about Arthur as Aquaman. It's not just about Jackson as Aquaman. It's also about Black Manta. So they're like the 3 main characters. There's more of a focus on Jackson and Black Manta. But it was all right. It was a decent enough first issue. It works. It's not anything to write home about. It's not going to blow anybody away. It's not going to turn anybody into an Aquaman fan. Ocean Master is there's a lot of things that happen too much too soon in this issue, and it's depending a lot on you having read those other miniseries, which I dipped out of. That being said, it was all right. It was all right. Then we got Action Comics 1040. Loved this issue. Thought it was super solid. Federico Federici, or is it Ricardo? Ricardo Federici's artwork, fantastic. This is basically Ridley Scott's Gladiator, but with Superman and Mongol, and you actually get some more Mongol action and a confrontation happening here. I'm digging this run. It's big. It's got a great scale and scope attached to it, and I'm liking it. It is telling, though, a story that is very similar and cliche at times, and it's taking its time to do it. So I'm not criticizing the pace of the story yet, but it feels like things move and progress rather slowly. But I like that book. Then we've got DC vs. Vampires, issue number 5. I thought issue 4 would step up. Issue 5 was a half a step back. It was all right. Artwork was a bit muddy. There's 2 different artists on this book. I think, feels like Simone De Mayo does some of the artwork, but I don't know if it's actually them. But the Otto Schmidt stuff is feeling rushed. You can tell that he's behind on the deadlines. The different art styles don't really match up. And it's an extended fight scene, and that's kind of cool. But Deceased it ain't. Let's just say that. But it's all right. Then we got Robin, issue number 11. I'm loving this book. I think it's great. So the tournament is over. So we're in the aftermath. How do you keep the book exciting? That gets done here. There's certain character bits that wrap up here and go into the pages of other books. We'll talk about that in a minute. And there are certain character beats that are going to continue in this story. New friendships, new relationships are formed and have been formed. This has been a really solid ongoing book telling a very interesting story. I love the use of Connor Hawke. I love the use of Damian Wayne. And where this book ends up, I am excited for next issue. I got chills because that could be a gut-wrenching story and an emotional story to tie up the first year of the series. This has been a great book. Speaking of Josh Williamson and great books, Deathstroke Incorporated, issue number 6. This kicks off the new direction of this book. Basically, at the end of the last issue, he goes from trying to be a hero, working for this organization. Turns out the organization is actually the secret society of supervillains. And then he decides he's going to take it over. And that's what this is. So he's got a confrontation with Black Canary. That book moves very quickly. The artwork is solid. Panta Latina, I liked it. It was stylized. I kind of dug it. It wasn't as good as the Howard Porter stuff. I ache to get him back on this book. But Deathstroke taking over the Secret Society is pretty badass. I mean, honestly, I like this book. It's had a lot of fun, and it's been really solid, and it moves rather quickly. All right. Oh, and that's it. That was everything that we read from DC this week. So, real quick, a little bit of an improvement from the first issue story-wise. Great artwork, though. This one, still loving the backup story. Still really hating the main story. Getting worse for me. Refrigerator Full of Heads is just big, dumb fun. Human Target, hard at first through its stylish structure, but pulls it together. Aquaman, number 1, a decent start, but not a lot of promise there. Action Comics, pretty solid, but maybe the story's going a little bit too slow. DC vs. Vampires, it's all right, but it's getting a little loose and sloppy. Robin, number 11, pretty solid development for the character and continuing arc of the story. Deathstroke Inc., just fun, just awesome, just wild, and right up my alley. And that was your DC Comics sneak peek. So there you go. Boom. Pop, pop, boom. Let's see what people are saying. Yo, Robbie, what comics are you excited for realizing over the next couple months? Step by bloody steps to take your fancy. We'll see about that one. That's actually escaping my head right now. Who's actually doing that one? Little Vampires or whatever, that one, but Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, I'm really looking forward to. I am all in on Hulk Grand Design. I'm also really excited for the return of Red Room with trigger warnings. I am looking forward to the continuation of Moon Knight by Jed McKay and Lou Pacino. I think that's been really freaking good. I'm looking forward to Swamp Thing returning. I'm looking forward to Nice House on the Lake returning. I'm looking forward to Something is Killing the Children returning because House Slaughter hasn't been cutting it for me. So, yeah, really, there's a lot that I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the whole like Boneyard Orchard thing or whatever that Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino are doing together. So yeah, I think that there's some really good solid stuff. PJ says the best DC book is Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics. I love the new take on Mongol. Mongol is awesome. I really like the book. I do. Detective should have been a 4-issue arc, yeah. And if Bruce was there, it would have been a 1-issue story. Brando's turning in. He's had enough of me talking shit about Marvel and DC, I guess. Rod says, you made me drop some Marvels. Best DC book this week. I really got to think about that. The best DC book this week, for me, I'm going to Deathstroke Inc. Deathstroke Inc. for me. My complaint for this week is the 7,000 print run on JLA Avengers trade and tribute for George Perez. What the fuck? 7,000? That should have had a print run of 250,000. Yes. A lot of the factors involved in that. So, like, number one, Marvel and DC were never going to work together to get this done. The only way that they got it done was because it was a limited print run. Like, honestly, I think that was part of the deal. It does suck. This book should have a huge print run. That would be a lot of money and royalties going towards the Perez family right now. That could probably be fucking helpful for them. But instead, what's going to happen is what happened in my shop was that day that it was announced, all of a sudden we got all these orders in that people wanted. And I guarantee you they're going to be heavily allocated. So you get all these shops. Think about how many pre-orders they got, how many people want this book because they never picked it up originally. I luckily still have my original issues from when they came out, but if you don't have the book and you want to get it and you're excited for this and you want to help support the cause, it does suck because this is what's going to happen. Say a shop orders 1,000 copies of it, they're probably going to get 10 to 50. If a shop orders 100 copies, they're probably going to get 5 to 10. If a shop orders 10 copies, they're going to be lucky to get 1. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have a lot of pissed off customers. You're going to have a lot of people trying to spec on it. And you're going to have people being taken advantage of on the aftermarket. And then the aftermarket money on that book, none of that goes to the Perez family. So that's the shitty part about it. But the book, I don't think Marvel and DC are going to be really profiting off of it. So I think that was part of the deal is that it had a limited print run. Unfortunately, that's going to lead to a heavily inflated price on the aftermarket for people who just want to get it, to have it. It's going to be an inflated price, and none of that money is going to George Perez and his family. I'll tell you that. JLA Avengers, that's the one they're reprinting. I think he says to him that's his favorite work. I mean, imagine it, though. And it's a really solid book, especially artistically. The artwork in that book is amazing. JLA Avengers, I need to find mine. And we should cover it one day for DC and Marvel. In the, I guess, was that 2000s? Do you know what's the deal with the last issue of Oblivion Song? Wasn't that supposed to come out a long time ago? I don't know what the deal is. I quit reading that, but I'm pretty sure if anything, it's just, I don't know what the delay maybe had something to do with the artist or something maybe. Marco says, Action Comics is great. Superman's character shines in it. Haven't read Catwoman, but art covers have always caught my attention. I wouldn't necessarily recommend Catwoman, but it is decent. But yeah, that pissed me off when it was only going to be a 7,000 run. Because first of all, that means I can't fulfill my customers' orders. I know I'm not going to be able to. Only 7,000. That book is going to be so heavily allocated. At certain shops, most shops are probably only going to get like between 1 and 4 copies. Honestly, if you think about it, and they're immediately going to be shot through the roof. I think if people are going to spec on that, they should donate some of that money to the family. 2003, thank you. Lots of love for Action Comics in the chat tonight. So let's take a poll, man. What's your favorite DC book right now? Is it Action Comics? I know that Brando just left, but he'd probably say that. Hey, we got a super chat. New type JB Lee. Hey, first time, love your vids. Thoughts on the future of digital sales, especially considering the Comixology disaster. I worry about the indie stuff. Well, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, to the one on the flam. Boy, your temper, just toss that hand in a frying pan like spam. Get done when I come and slam. Damn, I feel like the son of Sam. Now don't make me check, cause the check got me running like General Electric and the lights are blinking. I'm thinking it's all over when I go out drinking. Oh, they got my mind slow. That's why I don't fuck with the big 4-0. Bro, I got to maintain, cause a philosopher like me is going insane. And I fucked that one up. Anyway, thanks so much. Before we answer the question, though, Matthew, I saw your comment. I remembered it. I want to get to you. My buddy Jeremy got me hooked on your channel. Can you give a shout out to him and say Jeremy LaCourte is a good frickin' dude so I can show him this tomorrow at work? Thanks, man. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Just kidding. Jeremy LaCourte is a cool fucking dude. There you go. Station. All right. My thoughts on the future of digital sales considering the Comixology disaster. Well, Comixology got to get their shit together. Marvel, DC, they're probably like, because they've all been like, come to our platforms. We have our own place. Come there. But some of the indie books are like available in other spots. They've been trying to promote that. But what it needs is some competition, basically, right? But Amazon, Comixology, they got to get that figured out because they are gonna lose money and they don't want to lose money, right? So that's my thought. I have been ultra busy this weekend, but I keep hearing about Comixology, what happened there. Bob, basically what happened, as far as I can figure out, is that, you know, Amazon bought Comixology for a while, and they kind of just let it be its own thing, and now they're trying to integrate it into the Amazon site, and it is not working. People have lost a lot of their stuff. They're having to re-download their stuff. It doesn't display on their tablets or their phones or their devices correctly. It looks like shit, so I'm hearing really bad stuff about it. Let's see. That wasn't a freestyle though. That was Cypress Hill. Butchered, but Cypress Hill. All right, I asked everybody their favorite DC books right now. What's a DC? What's up, Trade Paper Dad? Twitch says Nightwing for DC. Strange Academy for Marvel. That's a good one. Todd says my favorite DC books right now are Joker, with Green Lantern in a close second. Tynan is crafting a very complex story, and I love the twist on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the family getting rich. Yeah, it's basically what if the Leatherface family got rich, like meets Beverly Hillbillies. Lost in Comics says Nightwing's in the top 3. Oh, well, thank you, William. R. Ariaga says, favorite DC title is currently Dark Knights of Steel. Marco says, I got love for a lot of comics, but I would say Action Comics is probably the most consistent of being good, and the issues are spaced nicely. I enjoyed Peacemaker disturbing the peace on Black Label. These damn kids didn't read it, buddy. Black Sunday is a classic. That's a great album. It's way too young for that. Yeah, Bob, I'm hearing it's not good. And Bob says Nightwing for you, for sure. Okay. Yo, you shouldn't have said anything. Gee, Totes had me full. I'm not going to pass off Be Real as me. Come on. Do my shit undercover. Blabber. Watch that belly get fat, a fat boy on a diet. Don't try it. I check your ass like a looter in a riot. Mushy get fat like a sumo. Slamming that ass, leaving your face on the grass. You know, I don't take a dulo lightly. A punk just jealous because he can't outright me. I kick that style. Wicked. Wow. Yeah, I keep going. I really like Cypress Hill. Come along and take a hit from the bong. All right. Tonight is my drunken chat with Robbie. Station run. Station. All right. Speaking of Cypress Hill, sometimes what I like to do, especially on Sunday mornings, is wake up, have a bowl, and watch a movie. And I've been watching these kung fu movies. And my sensei, not sensei, god damn it, I forgot the word. Sorry. My teacher, though, is here with his trusted guiding hand to lead me through this journey. And tonight we're talking about a movie called Master of the Flying Guillotine. I'll keep saying guillotine, though they kept saying guillotine. Master of the Flying Guillotine. Bob is here. Things are right in the world, so he can help me out with the names. Is it Jimmy Wang Yu or something like that? The director, star of this film? Sifu. Anyway, here it is. Here are my thoughts on Master of the Flying Guillotine. All right, well, first of all, this movie's pretty fucking fun. This movie slaps, man. It's pretty wild. It's ridiculous. It's out there. I really like it. So I did a little bit of research, found out that it's a sequel to a movie, The One-Armed Boxer, right? So he's like the main character. Because structurally, at first, I was really confused by this movie because pretty much throughout the entire movie until like towards the third act, I thought this dude was the hero of the film. So I'm like rooting for him. I was like, oh man, he had his dudes killed. Yeah, you go and act your revenge. But it's based on a movie that came before and they flash back to it. But this dude's an Imperial assassin. They explain all that shit. But for some reason, I just loved this dude and I loved his weapon and his look that I thought he was the good guy. So like the entire movie, I'm like, this bad guy is not playing up. Like this one-armed bad guy like is not playing up the villainy very much. And then I realized what was going on by the end of it. But I really liked the movie. It took a minute to kind of get going for me. And it's structurally inconsistent because the three acts are very distinct and very episodic. But I freaking like the movie a lot. So this dude gets word that two of his disciples or two of his fellow assassins have been killed by this one-armed assassin. And this one-armed assassin is going to have to deal with this dude. Unfortunately for this dude, who is kind of the hero of the film, like he's a good dude. That's why I was really confused throughout most of the movie. But unfortunately for him, the old dude is the goddamn Master of the Flying Guillotine, which is this like hat thing on a chain with these blades in it, and he throws it over your head and yanks on it and decapitates you. And he's rather freaking vicious with it, badass. Oh, plus he's blind, but he don't give a fuck. He's gonna take your ass out. This dude was freaking awesome. Loved him. The second act involves this tournament that is very Mortal Kombat, but also incredibly Street Fighter influencing, right? Because first of all, you have all these various characters show up. I could not find many photos for some of them, but there's this one dude who's like a boxer. There's this chick who is the daughter, I believe, of the dude that's putting on the tournament. And then there's this dude who I just said straight up, this is Dalsim from fucking Street Fighter. I think he's a Chinese dude playing an Indian dude. And I guess is it Indian face or whatever, but he does the Dalsim like stretching his arms out and shit. Everybody's got these crazy ass things, man. I loved this entire damn tournament because like, so the first tournament comes up and like one dude kills another dude and it's over. Then the next one, my favorite bit was when the two dudes killed each other and he's all like, this person wins. And then the other guy dies and he goes, he also wins. Like, it was freaking cracking me up. Everybody's got their own superpowers and shit, and they would subvert expectations on the outcome of the matches. But the entire second act is just this tournament, and it literally is like, fuck the story, gives a shit. We're just going to have the tournament run for like 20 minutes. But I loved it. It culminates when this dude shows up with one arm. In a previous scene, there's this bum who's like trying to eat for free at a restaurant. And he's only got one arm. And he mentions that he's the one-armed boxer. This dude happens to be there and he takes his head off. And he's like, there's this badass moment where he's like, I vow to kill every man in this town with one arm. And so he's at this tournament. And by the way, the tournament, they're trying to get the one-armed dude to fight in it. He's there, but he winds up leaving. There is a one-armed guy there. He shows up, kills him, and it goes into the third act. The guy who runs the tournament has a fight with him. He gets killed. It leads into the third act where people are helping him try to find this dude, and people are also helping the dude. The chick, who's his daughter, is now on the side of the one-armed guy. It's very like, did this influence The Fugitive? I'm hunting down the one-armed man, right? But I freaking loved it, man. And then you get to the big fight at the end, and what's really cool is this one-armed boxer guy knows that he can't beat this dude, but he has to use his brain. So he realizes that he's going to try to fool him. Since he's blind, he's going to set up all these bamboo shoots, and he's going to go to this coffin making store and get him basically to ruin his weapon and then get him at close quarters. So yeah, that's what goes on. But at the end, he eventually dismantles the weapon and then eventually takes him out and kills him. This movie is outlandish. It is ridiculous. It could have a little bit more flair, could be tighter put together. The version I watched jumped back and forth between like the original language and English, and it was kind of inconsistent with the way it looked. I would love to see this remastered or as close as they could get it to the original film, but I had a lot of fun with this movie. It wasn't super strong on story, but it was fun in the fighting. It was a really cool idea with the weapon, and this dude right there, this dude, just freaking badass. I'm going to give Master of the Flying Guillotine a very solid 3.5. Ya digs. So there you go. Thanks so much, Bob. I do not remember what's next, but I can look at our you're here, you may know off the top of your head, but I can look at our messages. But yeah, I really, really I liked it. I thought it was cool. I would love to see this remastered. Jimmy Wang Yu, thank you. I only watched Kung Fu Panda one time. Bro, the All Game is here tonight. I went out the last 2 nights. Tonight, I wanted to hang with the comic bros. Hell yeah, Rod. Glad you're here. Bob says, I still root for him. Cam Kang was awesome in this movie. Is that the guy that plays the old dude? Jimmy Wang Yu was the biggest star in Hong Kong cinema until Bruce Lee came on the scene. Yeah, I was watching this thing earlier where they were talking, Bob, about, I think it was Tarantino was doing an interview, and he was saying that this guy got shit on once Bruce Lee came up, and because he wasn't actually a martial artist. It was something that he learned for film or something like that. And they were talking about like the stigma against actors that learn, like say like a Keanu Reeves versus someone like Bruce Lee who came in already a martial artist. Didn't Mythbusters do an episode dedicated to this weapon? I don't know, Twitch, but if they did, they really should have. have to go through weeks of messages to get back to this. Okay, here we are. So next up is going to be, is it Ip Man? IP Man? Ip Man. That's the next movie. Let me write that down. I think it's Ip Man or Eep Man. Ip Man, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Trade paper dad with the yoga flame. He doesn't do the fire, but he does the fucking stretching. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it does look bad, but it doesn't look that bad. Peace out, John Stout. That's where they got the idea for Dawson. 100%. Very, like, it could have been focused more on the tournament. And the idea, I don't know, there's so many things you could have done structurally, like, story-wise, to try to fix things that I think were a little wonky. Make it about the tournament. Do a blood sport type thing. But the gimmick is this dude with the flying fucking guillotines there. There's like 3 fucking one-armed dudes there. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't know which one's what. Mystery of Chess Boxing was awesome. I watched that one a few weeks ago under Bob's tutelage. It was really, really good. Bob says, my favorite part was when wins without a knife, why Akuma breaks out a knife from his tonfa, and Jimmy Wang Yu tells his students, looks like he had a knife after all. Bust me up after today. Yeah, because he's supposed to be old school or something and not have it. Marco says, I enjoy Kung Fu movies as well. I picked up a comic that's coming out called Fist of the Dragon, Advent #1, just because it's a Kung Fu cover. There's a book called, it's by Gavin Smith. Dead Legends, I think is what it's called. We had him on the channel. That's a really good, like, fight kind of movie or comic book. That was as close as they could do to the original. They lost the original film, so they had to piece it together from 37 different sources to put together the most comprehensive version they could. Jesus Christ, that sucks. Two Gun says, Master of the Flying Guillotine is a classic. Hell yeah. This film sounds dope as fuck. Yo, Robbie, what do you think of Shogun Assassin? I love Shogun Assassin. We watched it and did a review with Bob on it last summer. You should definitely check that out if you can on the channel. Bob says, Ip Man is your next one. Ip Man is fire. Ip Man is a great film. I think you'll really enjoy Ip Man. I know a lot of people, I've heard of this movie a lot. Why did JCVD punch that guy in the junk in Bloodsport? To get a look at these nuts. Yeah, I'm really excited for that one then. Mythbusters did do an episode, but I don't think it was specifically related to the movie. It's because Frank Dukes told him to do it. We did Bloodsport it won a PCP Army movie poll that I really liked. I thought that was a good poll that we did. And it was a Van Damme-centric poll. I was trying to get Street Fighter to win, and Bloodsport won, and I was like, God damn it. And Bloodsport, I loved that movie as a kid, and I hadn't watched it in years. I love the fuck out of Bloodsport. We've been thinking about redoing it. Check out The Street Fighter starring Sony Chiba. The whole series was amazing. I have a few of them on DVD. Kumite. Yeah. Kumite. 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 All I know is I'd have Robbie take over comics and coffee. No, Bueller's still going to be doing his thing. It's not going to be the same, though. I missed it already, y'all. That last episode, y'all goddamn had me tearing up. What the fuck? Are you going to review the other Baby Cart series? Maybe one day, William. I'd love to. I'd love to watch them. I want to get that box set. I think it's the Criterion box set. Darkside Is says Kickstarter or Kickboxer is better than Bloodsport. I would disagree, but I like both of those films. Oh, thank you, Ace. Appreciate it. Kumite. Kumite. All right, we're about to get into the March Madness reveal, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into it because I'm excited for this. All right, so March Madness is what we started last year in March. Me and Dylan getting together to kind of do a mini version of Horror Fest. And the only thing is, it's either got to be a horror movie, it's got to be dealing with madness, it's got to be psychological in some kind of way. I would prefer for most of it to be like mad scientist type shit, but that's not always how this shit pans out. It goes into many other directions, and I think we got a slam bang fantastic lineup. So let's go ahead and get into the March Madness lineup. March Madness will start at Dylan's Horror Show, and it will be not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So we got Weird Science tomorrow night, then we got The Gate on Dylan's Horror Show Saturday, and then the following Monday, we've got Superman 1, 2, 3, and 4 review, all 4 Christopher Reeve Superman films. And then that Saturday, March Madness starts over at Dylan's Horror Show with The Entity. First movie is The Entity. That's going to be over at Dylan's Horror Show. Then Manhunter by Michael Mann. That's going to be PCP movie night. Then we got Dead and Buried for Dylan's Horror Show. I have never seen this movie. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it, so I'm very excited. After that, we got From Beyond, Stuart Gordon classic, over at March Madness PCP movie night. Then, keeping the Stuart Gordon theme going on Dylan's Horror Show, we have Dolls. After that, we dip into the very first film by Dario Argento over at PCP movie night, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. We follow that over at Dylan's Horror Show with Midsummer, a movie I've never seen. Excited to check it out. Hear lots of good things. And we wrap up March Madness with April Fool's Day over at PCP. And there is the full lineup right there with the dates. March 5th, The Entity. March 7th, Manhunter. March 12th, Dead and Buried. March 14th, From Beyond. March 19th, Dolls. March 21st, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. March 26th, Midsummer. And March 28th, April Fool's Day. We get excited about March Madness. It's a little bit of a horror fest kind of thing in the middle of the spring. At the start of spring, it's time to get more into some horror films. Me and Dylan's Horror Show, PCP movie night. Check us out. All right, y'all. That's March Madness. Think about that list. Let me know what's going on. When we come back from this break, Image in the 90s. We'll be right back.
fans, I literally have a minute because we are getting ready for a show. So I wanted to give you a quick sneak peek of what's going to be on this Monday show, February 21st. We're going to have Wolverine and Teen Titans. And we're also going to have Ninja Turtles. How cool is that? And even some Action Comics number 1000. I'm pretty sure this is Brian Michael Bendis' signature. So Monday, February 21st, 6 p.m., only on The Experience. Rex is going to be there. I'm going to be there. John's going to be there. Even Robbie's going to be there. So please come check us out. Hope to see you there.
Welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on a Sunday night, 2nd, 22nd, actually. Somehow that's the date in my head. Welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live. We've had a grand old time tonight. We looked back at what our favorite comic books last week were. We looked ahead at what's coming up in shops this week, including the DC sneak peek. We talked about Master of the Flying Guillotine, and we did the March Madness reveal. We got a great show still. Lots of fun stuff coming up. Let's take a look at the comments, see what people were saying. Van Damme was a beast in the early 90s, absolutely. Marco is out. Great live show, Robbie. Thank you, Marco. Thank you for being here. Check out Kickboxer 2. I'll need to. I've never seen part 2. Figure Drawing says Midsummer. Yes, please. Two Gun says Fire Lineup. Figure Drawing says Dope Ass List. What? No, I Madman from 89? I've never seen that one. Should we? Should we check it out sometime? Kirby says, today I just picked up the Midsummer Blu-ray along with some other movies. Excited to finally check this out. Excited for March Madness 2. Hell yeah. JC says, I really wish they could have gotten Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, directed by Stuart Gordon. I know, he wrote it, he wanted to direct it, but they didn't get that to work out. March Madness lineup coming out of the gates with the Entity. What a way to set the stage. I know, right? Exactly. My friend did get me a Nocturnals Omnibus Volume 1, waiting for the second volume. Yeah, that's a really good book. I have that too. Rod says, love you, Robbie, because you sing like me. Oh, that's the other thing about Master of the Flying Guillotine. The music was fucking awesome. There's some Kraftwerk there. There's some Tangerine Dream in there. There's some really solid stuff. I really like the music in that movie. What's up, officially unofficial geek? OUG, what is up? How you doing? In case you missed it, here's that March Madness lineup once again. The Entity. Manhunter. Dead and Buried. From Beyond. Dolls. The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Midsummer. April Fool's Day. And this is the original one from 1986. A lot of 86 movies on this list. That is not intentional. It just so happened that way. Been better if we would have done that last year. They would have been anniversary films. But anyway. Yeah, the soundtrack was pretty crazy. I really love it. And the bit where every time you see the dude, I don't remember his name, but the master with the flying guillotine, the old dude, whenever the blind dude, when you see him coming up, like that music, it's like, wah, it was giving me like Fabio Frizzi vibes from like Zombie, like a little bit. I was really, really digging it. Starting off with the Entity, but no Incubus or Demons. There's only so many movies. There's only so many Saturdays and Mondays in March. You know, we got a long road ahead of us in coverage of movies. Robbie, you need to be on Broadway. Oh, I know. It's a dream. It's a dream. Dream role on Broadway? How about Max Bialystock from The Producers? I shows always had the biggest hits. I always had the biggest hits. Anyway, it'd probably help if I knew the lyrics. Really, I just want to be the Phantom of the Opera. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Everybody just wants to be the Phantom of the Opera, you know? The Phantom of the Opera. Anyway, how are y'all doing? Feng Shi Wuxi was the master of the flying guillotine. Okay. I can dig it. I can dig it. Sing once again, my love, a strange duet. My power over you grows stronger yet. And though you turn from me to glance behind. I know that name because my buddies and I used to recite that opening monologue. Hell yeah. I could totes be a Colonel Pickering from My Fair Lady. Okay, thank you. OUG, I appreciate that. I really do. All right, time to get into the next bit, the next segment. We like to call this one, you ready for it? You ready? I got to find the button. I can't find the button. I got too many of these damn things now. All right, it's time for the next bit. It's time for Image in the 90s. And today we're talking about Savage Dragon by Erik Larsen. We're going to talk about the first 3-issue miniseries of Savage Dragon, written and illustrated by Erik Larsen. Now, I've never been the hugest Erik Larsen fan. I did not like him on Spider-Man back in the day. I did not read Savage Dragon. So this is honestly my first time reading this series. And what spurned this, first of all, aside from just going back into the Image stuff from the 90s, from 30 years ago, and digging into it, but recently I started reading Ant by Erik Larsen, and I'm enjoying it. So I like the art. I wanted to see what his style was like at the beginning of Savage Dragon, how that evolved from Spider-Man, and how it evolved up through some of the early issues of Savage Dragon into wherever he is today. And I'm going to tell you this. I fucking loved this goddamn book. I wish I would have read these 3 issues when they first came out, because I bet I would have fucking read Savage Dragon throughout the rest of the 90s, for sure. Holy shit. Let's get into it. So it kicks off right mid-action. Savage Dragon, he's full-formed. He's fighting this dude. I don't remember some of these characters' names, but he's just fighting this badass dude, and it's big, and it's explosive. And one of the first things I started noticing with the artwork, I've always known that Erik Larsen had a huge Jack Kirby influence, but I started picking up on some John Byrne-isms that are going on, mostly with facial work, with the emotive idea of the characters, and even with some of the background, some of the inking. Some of his inking lines are organic to me in a way that John Byrne has, especially, when he inks himself, 100%. The artwork in these 3 issues blew me the fuck away. Like, absolutely, and way better than what I saw in Ant. Though I did like Ant, and I thought it was an interesting style, this one Holy freaking cow. So he's beating up on these two super freaks is what they're calling them. Chicago is overrun by super criminals. The cops are on their last legs. They're barely surviving. And here comes Savage Dragon. Brutal and violent. Hey, we got Thorn Identity in the house. What's up, Jeffrey Thorn? Station. Great issue of Green Lantern, by the way. Speaking of green, though, we got Savage Dragon here just mercilessly punching this chick. I think her name's Glowbug. Like straight up square in the jaw. Kayfabe, Jim and Ed over there pointed out that there's a huge Walt Simonson influence as well, and you can definitely see that here, especially with some of the lettering. But it starts off, big action scene. Everything's got this kinetically charged, high-octane level of energy, and just the badassery of Savage Dragon running through. This dude's talking some major shit. He's like, what are you going to do? Hey, what are you going to make me give up? And the Savage Dragon just tells him, fucking give up, I say so. And he's just like, okay, you got it, man, you got it. So there you go. And then we get a flashback to Savage Dragon. He's in a yard, he's in a field, he's on fire, he wakes up, he gets taken to the hospital. This dude, his name is Frank, comes in. He becomes like kind of like a surrogate father figure in these first couple issues here. And he takes him in because Savage Dragon has no recollection of who he is or where or how he became the way he became. So it's a really kind of good scene, and I like some of I've been revisiting some of these Image books, and I can safely tell you that I think that out of the initial Image launch, this is the best written comic. Like, I'm not saying it's top notch, but it's pretty freaking well done, okay? And I kind of like it, right? So then we get the news that there's this dude, Super Patriot. He's been like beat to shit and back, and like basically Chicago's being overrun by supervillains and organized crime, and they're wiping out all of the heroes. So Frank asks Savage Dragon, "Hey, you got these powers. You need to join up with us." And he turns him down at first. He doesn't want to do it. He's like, "Look, I'm trying to figure out who I am. I don't want to be a cop." And Frank wants him on the force. And instead, he gets him a job with his cousin. And while he's on the job, these supervillains attack, and they're trying to extort money or something from Frank's cousin. Savage Dragon's there. He has a confrontation with them, kind of kicks him out. And he's excited for kind of kicking their ass, but this dude's all pissed off because he's like, now they're going to keep coming after me. Boom. They blow up the damn building. Dude dies. Savage Dragon doesn't get burned up. He's still alive. And then we get the news that this dude, Mighty Man, has been killed, right? So it's just this escalating factor where it's like, what hope do the police have when the superheroes completely just get demolished? And it's just, you get this level, like when you read some Punisher books from this era, you get the idea, like me living in Huntsville, Alabama, I would read Punisher books from this era and think that any big city had like fucking war on the streets, right? Like it was goddamn RoboCop or some shit. And that's kind of what this book feels like, but with supervillains, right? So he gets attacked. He shows up. He's like, your cousin's dead, but now he decides he's going to be a cop. He gets partnered up with this woman, and then he goes onto this mission. Look at this artwork. That's just badass. That's just freaking badass. Like, look at this. This book came out in 1992. Look at the movies that we were loving, that we were digging in those days. The Rambos, the RoboCops, the Predators, the Commandos, all that shit. That's here, fully formed. And really great artwork, man. It's dynamic. It's kinetic. It is big, boisterous, explosive, exciting, vibrant. And if I would have read this shit at the first time it dropped, I pray I would have read it all and loved it because I thought this shit was great. Like, it was absolutely amazing. So he's just confronting these dudes. This other dude is another superhero. There's all these other superheroes involved. This whole world, I'm sure they're going to get into all of that. But it's like a hostage situation. And at the end of the first issue, you got the big bad guys to come being revealed, including a reject from Street Sharks. Then we go into the second issue. I liked this one a lot too. Second issue, he starts off and he's going after this dude, I think named Arachnid. He's like this spider being underground that's like killing kids. There's like dead kids and shit here. This is like Spawn number 5 type shit. Like, this is Savage Dragon's Billy Kincaid. pretty gnarly artwork here. So just typical mission to start it out. So all of these books are really centered and anchored with these explosive action scenes that really let the artwork and the dynamism of it just completely come across. And then we started to get a little bit more story, a little bit more flashbacks when he doesn't know who he is. There's this nurse. One thing about Savage Dragon, he's kind of a pimp. He's got he's got a charm. He's a James Bond type. A lot of women are into him, and they kind of get into that a lot. Frank's really upset that he won't be a cop. There's this going on, that. He's training to be a cop here. He's a perfect shot. He just talks to him a little bit like, how'd you get to be such a good shot? He just has this really melodramatic moments, Dragon does, where he's like, I don't know who I am, okay? But I actually really look at that last panel. I think that's a pretty solid trying to emote that. So Super Patriot, who was completely fucked by a villainous attack, has been rebuilt by cyber data from the Cyberforce book, the villainous organization there. So he's like a cyborg now, and he's not quite right in the head, and that's going to come up. Once again, a woman basically kind of trying to throw herself at Savage Dragon. He's just letting it play cool. Savage Dragon, watch him. Watch that dude. Look at him on that bike right there. So freaking badass, this page. I absolutely love it. When I was watching the Cartoonist Kayfabe video on this series, they pointed out a Mignola kind of influencer aspect here that absolutely works. So these dudes show up. They're keeping hostages at the mall. Savage Dragon's there to start it or to stop it. Lots of people get in the way. They start throwing all these people around, killing people. Savage Dragon starts fighting them. It gets crazy. It gets wild. And then the Super Patriot shows up in the middle of all of this shit and just starts mowing all the villains down and gets in a fight with Savage Dragon because Savage is trying to stop him. And he almost kills him. And then he's told, yo, stop, he's a cop. And then he like kind of freaks out, and you can see that this is like the RoboCop thing, right? So he's like, I used to be a man, and it's all kind of coming back. So he just kind of freaks out. He runs away and he leaves. But when he leaves, Savage Dragon has been gutted by a villain in the fight. So he just keels over and basically bleeds out and dies there. And that's the cliffhanger ending, leading us to 3. This was my least favorite of these 3 issues. I thought it didn't really kind of continue some of the momentum of those first 2 issues, and to be just a 3-issue series before the launch of the main series, I just felt like it was a bit clunky, but it's because all it is cameos. So it's Bedrock, who we know now as Batroc, or Badrock from Youngblood. So Savage Dragon is in the hospital. He's attacked by some villains. Some more explosive pages here. Really cool, gnarly stuff in that vein of Jack Kirby, Walt Simonson, John Byrne, but all distinctly Eric Larson. So he fights off this attack from the hospital. He's healing fast. Things are still amping up outside. He's trying to figure out what to do. There is Overlord. He's the big bad guy, basically the kingpin of this supervillain criminal empire. He's got plans, and we're building up to it. And on another issue, another woman throwing herself at Savage Dragon. And it's like that's that Playboy James Bond thing, and I really like it. I just got off these James Bond movies, really liked it. Look at that, y'all. That's a 15-panel page from Eric Larson. Look at that. Really well done, actually. So now there's a new mission. We got to go find out what's going on. Savage Dragon's leaving the hospital. He's getting all these reporters asking him questions, and out of nowhere, Bedrock, because this was before the settlement and the name change to Badrock, but Bedrock shows up, and the rest of this issue is just a big-ass fight between Bedrock and Savage Dragon, and it's pretty cool. And I don't know if Larson is trying to portray Bedrock here like a Liefeld character, but there's something about the figure work there that doesn't work for me. But really look at the fantastic lettering on this page. Look at those double O's. That is fucking fantastic. And that coom at the end there, crack-a-coom or whatever. But it's just a big fight, and it's pretty cool. Then you got this really interesting scene that's a scene from Spawn that's recreated here in Savage Dragon. So that was a nice little nod. This is basically Eric Larson being like, thanks, guys. You know, you got the cyber data connection with Super Patriot. You got Spawn showing up in a cameo, and you got Bedrock just wailing on Savage Dragon. They're having a big old fight, and it's interesting, and it's okay, but it just doesn't feel as dynamic or as high stakes as the issues that came before. There was a little bit more story to those. This one is just a big slam bang fight with Bedrock, and Youngblood was hot, man. It was super big, and that was the first Image comic officially. We get a little tease at maybe a character that is the original dude who became Savage Dragon, so that was enticing to me. I'd love to see how that gets developed. But there is some cool moments, and I really like this page, and it was pretty fun. So the action is nice, but that's pretty much all it is. And you find out, this is my favorite bit in the whole thing, you find out at the end there that Bedrock's like, okay, dude, you're fine. I was just fighting you to figure out if you were tough enough to join Youngblood. So then Dragon just immediately punches the shit out of him, and he's like, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard of. And then Bedrock's like, well, they do it in Marvel Comics all the time. And then he arrests him. And then he goes home, and there's that chick who lives in like down the hall from him, and she coerces him or convinces him to let her stay the night. Door closes. Youngblood gets Bedrock out, and then old Frank gets a telephone call and is told that he's the one that put in the tip of his cousin and Savage Dragon. It's actually his idea. He set it up. He allowed these dudes, I think they're called the Vicious Circle, Overlord, and this gnarly ass dude with no face. I really love this dude. He apparently is the one who let them know what to do in order to coerce Dragon to joining the Force. Holy cow. Explosive and freaking fantastic. I loved it. Here's my original issues that I read. I just picked these up recently, and I think I already have this one, but I picked them up again. These are really nice copies. They still have the posters inside. I freaking love this book. I thought it was awesome. Like I said, I didn't like the third one as much as the second issue. 1 and 2, though, were really solid. 3 was good, but it just felt a bit weird to wrap up this miniseries with this random meaningless fight with Bedrock. But the artwork on this shit is fantastic. The coloring is pretty decent. I saw that on Cartoonist Kayfabe, they were talking about, like, it's the early days of digital coloring. You don't know, like, if you look at her ass, there's way too much digital white and rounding on that ass. But, you know, it looks good. You know, if you look at Eric Larson, a lot of people don't like his style. I didn't necessarily like it on Spider-Man. I never read this. There's the poster. Look at that. And the one that they had on Cartoonist Kayfabe had a different poster for issue number 1. But I got the same poster for the others. But I really freaking liked the book. I thought it was great. It had an energy to it. It felt like it was of the time, right? Like it had those action movie moments. Each page has got a great visual anchor on it. It's got a great sense of storytelling, I think. Storytelling is there. The emoting is there. It gets dark. It gets gritty. It gets gnarly. I freaking really like it. The artwork is by, of course, Eric Larson, but the lettering is by Chris Iliopoulos, and Gregory Wright did the coloring. Gregory Wright was the colorist on a lot of the Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane, and when Eric Larson took over. I love this Super Patriot guy. I'm about to be picking up some of the Super Patriot stuff by Dave Johnson. But man, I freaking love it. There's an ad right there for the upcoming Wildcats and Cyberforce. Cyberforce, not as good as this. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cyberforce I like, but this Savage Dragon and Spawn is really cool too. But this is the best written early Image comic that I've read so far. Honestly. Where's that other page I really like? I like that last... Oh, there. Look at that poster right there. I'll show you the other poster from number 2. But yeah, that right there. I just love the hell out of that. But there is something wonky about Bedrock, where even on the cover, it looks more... I don't know, maybe it's because he's trying to do a Liefeld character in his style. And then we're going to... Yeah, I love this one. This one's dope as shit. But I really like this. So I am definitely going to continue to read Ant because I've been liking that. I don't want to just pick up Savage Dragon randomly, modernly now. But I know at a certain point it's going to be hard to find issues. But I'm going to pick up the ongoing series of Savage Dragon and continue going through because I'm having a lot of fun with this shit. So Eric Larson, Savage Dragon, the original 3-issue miniseries, I'm going to give 4.5. Ya digs? It could have been 5 if that third issue didn't just have nothing but just Bedrock in it and had a little bit more to it. But I freaking loved the book. I thought it was super solid. And that was our installment of Image in the 90s. So there you go. Now I'm going to see what y'all said. Got that for $5 at a show last year. Savage Dragon, says Big Herm. When did Savage Dragon become an adults only comic? I don't know that because these are the only 3 issues I've read. But it's pretty hyper violent. I'll tell you that already. 1 through 5 got for $5. Hell yeah. Or 1 through 3. Cartoon was great while it lasted. I remember watching some of the cartoon. I bet it's way different than this book. Fable says, Larson fell off for me artistically, but I was a huge fan in the 90s. Yeah, we did have the writer Green Lantern in the house. Who says? Jeff says, Savage Dragon had a crazy strong initial run. Hell yeah. Fable says, I loved Super Patriot back then. Didn't know the musical group Wham had a TV station. Albert says, this Larson art is fantastic. This is really good stuff. Bob from Everything Comics says, I remember digging that Super Patriot storyline. In the beginning, that book was a lot of fun. Jeff Thorne says, gotta bounce. This is awesome. Thank you for popping in. We appreciate it, man. Keep the work going, man. You're doing good stuff. The first 21 issues with the Overlord story arc was great, says Eagle Tiger Note. Definitely will be getting those for sure then, because I think those are going to be pretty easy. The lettering is fucking dope in the book. The lettering and the coloring, I think Ed Piscor on the Cartoons Kayfabe video says it refines itself by the beginning of the ongoing series. And looking at it, like when I was reading it, I liked the coloring. Looking at it though, and understanding what Ed and Jim are talking about, like it's still learning how to digitally color comics to be printed on different types of paper. So there are moments where things are just a bit too shiny. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of that apparently on the fins that they discussed, but freaking love it. I loved it. And I picked these up from mycomicshop.com, and then my buddy Kevin finds a bunch of them in my fucking dollar bins at work. But anyway, they're really nice. They're in really, really good shape. Wish he still drew like that. I really liked his stuff right now in the last couple issues of Ant. So I really like that. Savage Dragon was the third Image comic to hit 200 issues. What was it? I guess Spawn, Walking Dead. No, not Walking Dead. What's the other one? What else hit 200 from Image? Spawn, Savage Dragon. What's the other one? There are 2 number 13s, one drawn by Jim Lee and one only by Eric himself. Now, I knew that Jim Lee did one for the X month. Are you telling me that he also released one where he drew the same issue? Witchblade, duh. Witchblade. Thank you, William. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to diving more into Image. It's the 30th anniversary, so this is a good excuse to dive into all of these early Images. Last year we did Cyberforce. Now we've done Savage Dragon. And more to come, baby. More to come. Celebrating 30 years of Image Comics. All right. It's time to switch gears. Let's talk about some movies. Time to talk about our top 5 movies from 1975. Start thinking about it. Pull up your lists. 1975. What are your top 5 favorite movies? Here are mine. At number 5, I'm going Nashville. Really freaking like this movie. It's got a brilliant cast, a huge cast, and I love Altman films like immensely. And so this is one of my favorites. I really love MASH, but Keith Carradine, Ronnie Blakely, Karen Black. This was Lily Tomlin. I really appreciate this movie. I like it, and it shows off the Parthenon up in Nashville. Nashville's a hop, skip, and a jump away. So, I've been there, and it's always fun. But anyway, this movie is great because it's got realistic dialogue, overlapping stories, and the way it all comes together at the end. And yes, it's about country music, but I don't really like country music, and I love this movie. At number 4, we got Jaws. This is a classic film. It's going to be a lot of people's favorite from this year. It was one of the first blockbuster, made $100 million, was a big deal, caused people not to go out into the ocean. Great performances and a really solid story, and less is more. They wanted to use the shark more, but they used it less, and it produced more of an effect. At number 3, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Milos Forman, right? Love this movie. Haven't seen this one probably about 20 years, so I think that means we need to cover it for PCP Movie Night this year. But Jack Nicholson, Danny DeVito, what great performances from so many people in small roles in this movie, and just a brilliant film that really hit you hard. And Nurse Ratched, right? That's her name? Still one of the worst villains, or one of the best villains, we should say, in cinema history. At number 2, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. This movie gets me. I can watch it anytime, anywhere, from any point in the movie. If it just started 2 minutes ago, I'll watch the rest of it. If it only has 2 minutes left, I'm going to watch those last 2 minutes. This is a movie that is incredibly quotable and incredibly fun to watch, especially with a gang of your friends. And at number 1, Deep Red. This is a Dario Argento film. It's his first really great film, in my opinion. I love this movie. It's called Profondo Rosso over in Italy. The score by Goblin is freaking fantastic. It is giallo at its best. It's Argento at pretty much almost tip-top shape. Right after this, he's going to make Suspiria, and this is the height of his career here. This movie freaking slaps. So to recap my top 5 movies from 1975. Number 5, Nashville. Number 4, Jaws. Number 3, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Number 2, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And number 1, Deep Red. Those are mine. What are yours? So let's see what's going on in the world. Twitch says, I can hook you up with a lot of Savage Dragon digital issues. Well, that's cool. I appreciate that. Awesome installment. Succinct yet impactful. Thank you. Hell yeah. Well, one thing I do like about Larson is that Larson is still doing his book. You know, like Todd's still producing Spawn, but he ain't drawing it, right? But like Larson, I just want to write and draw my own comic, and he's been doing it, and he's continued to do it. And he's the one dude that still is just sitting down, writing and drawing his own book for all these years. Do continuity comics in the 90s. Two Gun says, Jaws and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest off the top of the head. Hell yeah. You know what? He probably had it and just gave it over to Jim Lee. He was like, hey, here's my thumbnails for the issue, so just do your thing. Albert's never seen Deep Red. Highly recommended, brother. Let's see where it's streaming. It's streaming for free on Pluto and on Vudu. You can rent it. So yeah. Deep Red is worth it. I need to upgrade my Blu-ray actually because I got the Blue Underground one, but there's an Arrow one that I want to get. All right, Keith Bush is in the house. What's up, Keith? The Apple Dumpling Gang, Rollerball, Rocky Horror, Jaws, and Race with the Devil. Nice list. William says Jaws, Death Race 2000, Rollerball, Tommy, and Deep Red. Albert says Jaws, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Rocky Horror, Tommy, Barry Lyndon. JC says, got to be Monty Python for me, but I can see Rocky Horror being a big one for people. Absolutely. Honorable mentions would have gone to that one for sure. Just check the books you got from Humble Bumbles. All the Savage Dragon books are without color. Those must be the Savage Dragon archives. Yeah. That was a big bummer because I like the coloring in those books. Dog Day Afternoon was another movie worth mentioning for that year, says Bob. Absolutely. Dark Side Is says One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jaws, Rocky Horror, Monty Python Quest for the Holy Grail, and Dog Day Afternoon, no real order. Race with the Devil is a classic honorable mention. I've never seen that. I've never seen that one. Escape to Witch Mountain, though, was 1975. So I'll put that on my honorable mention. I loved that movie when I was a fucking kid. I used to go to my cousin's house, stay the nights on the weekends, and they had the Disney Channel. And this was the time, at least in my area, you had to pay for the Disney Channel. And some weekends they would play fucking Escape to Witch Mountain or Escape from? Anyway, they would play the Witch Mountain movie, and I'd fucking just be fucking obsessed with it. 100%. 100%. Y'all got some good lists for 1975. Next week, we'll be talking about 1976, so start thinking about it. This was an easy list for me to put together. All right, next bit. It's time for an annotation on X-Men animation. And tonight, we're talking about the 6th episode of the X-Men, Cold Vengeance. So when we last left the X-Men series, or should I say previously on X-Men. Yes, definitely honorable mention to Shivers right there. Previously on X-Men, Wolverine left because it was the issue with the famous meme of him staring at the picture of Jean Grey, and at the end, she goes and consoles Scott, and he leaves. So Wolverine just leaves, and he's up there in Canada somewhere skiing. Right? And Sabretooth shows up and he's like, oh my God, it's Sabretooth. And they have a little bit of a tussle, and Sabretooth's fighting with them, and Wolverine falls off a ledge into the ocean. Sabretooth thinks he's dead, but Wolverine actually gets saved by these Native Americans, I think, up there. I think they're like Inuit people or something like that. Meanwhile, at the X-Mansion, Cyclops and Gambit are fighting because Cyclops is mad that Gambit's talking about this island named Genosha that is welcoming mutants to go there and live. And Cyclops is like, I just think it's too dangerous to spread unfounded rumors. And there's a great scene where Professor Xavier comes in, and Cyclops is just such a little bitch about it. Like, he's just like, oh, sorry, Professor. I don't think he should be talking about this. And so then Cyclops eventually at the suggestion of Xavier, decides to send Gambit, Storm, and Jubilee to Genosha to check out what's going on there. Meanwhile, Wolverine gets taken by this tribe, this camp, taken to their camp. He kind of becomes one of them. And he's starting to find a little bit of peace, right? And that's what he's trying to do. And he's out there and he's fishing. He's doing good. The problem is he's making certain people jealous. So there's this one dude there, and his name's like Kimwat or something like that. And Kiwat or something like that. And he's getting jealous, and he's out there one day, and Sabretooth's there. He's like, you smell like Wolverine. And Sabretooth's like, I ain't gonna have it. And they develop a plan together where this dude's gonna go and get Wolverine and lead him away from the camp. And he thinks he's leading him away from the camp so that Sabretooth can come in and kill him. Turns out he destroys the village. That's right. So then dude finds Wolverine. They go to find Sabretooth. Sabretooth's got the villagers on a bridge there. He's about to blow it up on this ice bridge. And Wolverine and Sabretooth got to fight. And then the little dude who betrayed the village, basically, betrayed Logan, he winds up helping Wolverine get the upper hand. And eventually, Sabretooth falls down a chasm, and everybody is saved. And there's this touching moment. First of all, there's some weird moments here where Wolverine's like Sabretooth comes back and he's like, I can't find peace anywhere I go. It's like he's being really freaking emo. Wolverine's super emo in this episode, but I love this episode. So at the end, they have this thing. He's like, I'm going to stay here and help you rebuild the village. And the elder of the village is like, no, we're going to go into the city, and we got to let the young generation now guide the way of the village. Meanwhile, Gambit, Ororo, and Jubilee wind up in Genosha. Turns out things aren't good. They get kidnapped. What's going on? And so that is X-Men Episode 6, Cold Vengeance. I love it. One thing I want to point out here is this issue of X-Men Adventures, issue number 6. This was one of my favorite comics back in the early 90s. This was one of my favorite episodes of X-Men the Animated Series because it focused so much on Wolverine. Rewatching it, I was really taken away by how much of this is also about the setup to the Genosha episode that happens next. But this is something that this book, or that this show did, was tell an ongoing story, and I like that. But so this is written by Ralph Macchio, not the Karate Kid, but the Marvel editor. So it kind of goes right along with it, and it says based on the teleplay by Michael Edens. And one thing I like is that artistically, the artists get to put them in different clothes. Like Sabretooth just looks like Sabretooth in the cartoon. But in here, he's got this like snowsuit on and shit like that. So I like the artistic interpretation of some of the things, including the argument is much more heated between Gambit and Cyclops there. But I like the art here. But there's something in particular I want to show you. And it's towards the end. So I don't know if this is based on an original script and they produced this before the ending or before the airing of the actual show. But I want to point out right here, in the television show, Sabretooth falls to his presumed death on his own, like it's an accident. In this issue, Wolverine picks his ass up and throws him off the fucking cliff. That does not happen in the animated series. Then, what else? Old dude dies in this one. So the young, he's like, I think he's probably like the grandson of the tribe elder or something. The one that's jealous of Wolverine. In the show, he helps Wolverine defeat Sabretooth. And that's what happens on this one too. I'm trying to find the moment in which it happens. But he dies. Yeah, it's right there. So, in the book, or in the show, Sabretooth's got the upper hand on Wolverine. The dude comes and kind of bonks Sabretooth. Wolverine fights him, and Sabretooth falls off the ledge. In this one, he kills the dude. You see the sound effect right there. He kills the dude. He's dead. Like, that's crazy. I wonder if that was in the original script. But yeah, when you get to the end here, he's still there, and it ends with his funeral. Wild as shit. Isn't that freaking wild? The artist on this is Andrew Wildman. Not familiar. Inked by Robert Campanella and Andrew DePoy. Yeah. Anyway, I have a lot of these X-Men adventures. I need to find them all and get them all together to compare, because I want to compare other stories now, because that's dark. Wolverine throws Sabretooth to his death, and Sabretooth kills that kid. And in the story that's in the cartoon that's on here, that don't happen that way. So that's pretty freaking crazy. Pretty crazy. Anyway, that was your annotation on X-Men animation. So there you go. Cyclops is the dude in the class that reminds your teacher they forgot to assign homework. Yes, you're right. Professor, Wolverine's being mean to me. Gambit's telling everybody to go to Genosha. What's up, chill out, man? Matthew, I already did that. I did it back. You must have missed it. I'll do it again. Here we go. Jeremy LaCourte is fucking awesome. There you go. Is that good enough? What's up, Rogue Collecting? How you doing? No, I appreciate it, Matthew. I'm glad you guys like the channel. Yo, have y'all heard about that Jeremy LaCourte guy? I heard that I saw him in court. Why? Because he has some parking tickets that he didn't pay. But he's still pretty cool, I must say. There you go. Where are we at? All right. Let's go ahead and get into show and tell, because we got some things to show and tell. Here's some comics I've been picking up. Talking about the Image stuff. Talking about going back to the Image in the 90s and the 30 years ago and the start of Image. Here's some new additions to the collection. I showed some of these off on my IG show. I got a new show I do on IG, Instagram. 6:30 p.m. Central Time on Instagram, Pop Culture Philosophers. I go live to do comic books and karaoke. I show my new comic book day haul and the other stuff I picked up, because I always pick up some old school stuff too, and I sing a song or two. Then we got, this week I picked up Wildstar number 1, number 2, number 3 with our man Savage Dragon, and number 4 is from Jerry Ordway. Never read it. So my homie Kevin told me it was really good and worth it, so I wanted to check it out. Got a hold of Wildcats Trilogy 1, 2, and 3. Love me some Jay Lee. Then I got Shadowhawk 2, number 3. This is the unmasking issue where you get to open it up, and it's a whole thing. We'll do that bit probably next week. We'll do it soon. We'll do the bit soon. Also picked up a Darker Image number 1 with the first Blood Wolf, Deathblow, and Max. Mine came with a Max card. Got Spider-Man's Tangled Web number 3 by Darwin Cook, because they were talking about this on Cartoonist Kayfabe on Valentine's Day, and I'd gotten rid of all my Tangled Web books, and I decided I definitely wanted to keep that one in the collection. Got Incredible Hulk 377. I want to get all the Peter David Hulk runs, so I got this one low-grade newsstand. It's got a rip on the face there. It sucks, but whatever. It is what it is. Then I got a newsstand copy of Uncanny X-Men 254, or 251. Yeah, 251 with the classic Mark Silvestri cover. So that's badass. I got this. I got an A-OK from our guy, Two Gun Pedro. So I got this copy of The Mall with the Bill and Ted homage cover. So that's freaking awesome. He heard me talking about wanting some wizards, and that I didn't have a lot in the early days. So bruh hooked me up. Let's see what we got here. We got the Wizard 100 Most Collectible Comic Special Edition. We got Wizard number 17. Wizard number 18. Wizard number 19. We ain't done. And he ain't done. That's all he could fit in the box. And I gotta look over there and see what I have left and send him the list. Number 20. Talking about the Max. 21. 22. Look at this baby. 23. 24. And we ain't done, because we got one more, and it's number 25. How freaking dope. Some of these are actually still polybagged. I hope you don't mind that I'm going to open up those ones. Because that's what I'm trying to... Yeah, most of them are still bagged with cards, man. I'm going to open those motherfuckers, though. And... yeah, I'm super freaking excited, though. Like, thank you so much. I want a complete collection of Wizard, and you're really helping me out here. So I got to look and see exactly what I need. And the last thing really for show and tell is Mike the Voice Matthews got me a sealed VHS copy of Small Soldiers, y'all. Sealed VHS clamshelled Small Soldiers. How freaking cool is that? So Station Two Gun Pedro, Station Mike the Voice Matthews, and Station Bueller. If we did post credits, maybe you should stick around if you want to see what Bueller sent me. It's time for the Final 9. What's a post credits? Final 9 Blu-rays in my collection. We're going through the M's right now. This is one set. They're not individually cased, so it counts that way. Anyway, there's my Mel Brooks collection. This includes 12 Chairs, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Silent Movie, High Anxiety, History of the World Part 1, To Be or Not to Be, Spaceballs, and Robin Hood Men in Tights. So, I'm thinking about getting the Dracula Dead and loving it, and I only have the producers on Blu-ray still. I mean, on DVD, the original film and the musical, actually. I only have on DVD, so I need to get Blu-rays of those. Then we got Memento. Started my love affair with Christopher Nolan. Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Talking about that John Carpenter collection. There's my copy of Meteor Man. A lot of the books I've been reading lately have had Meteor Man ads, including, where's that damn X-Men book? Had to have been this one. Right there, look at that. I have one random issue of the Meteor Man comic book. I have the one that has Night Thrasher in it, but I want to get all of them. Anyway, Misery with the slip. There's the Mission Impossible 6 movie collection. The last 3 of these movies fucking are badass. It's my copy of The Mist. It's the 2-disc special collector's edition that has the black and white version as well, which is worth it. Monster Squad. I thought I was getting old when this said 20th anniversary. And we're going to wrap it up with Mortal Kombat, the original, on Blu-ray. So there's the final 9. Yeah, Memento's great. Back in the day when Wizard was fire in the racks. Back in like 93, 94, Wizard had like 3% of the fucking entire comic book market. That's a lot of money, if you think about it. In those days, ugh. Wild stuff, wild stuff. All right, well, that is the show for tonight, so thank you so much for joining us. Lots of fun. We talked about X-Men. We talked about Savage Dragon. We talked about a lot of great stuff tonight. Really, really appreciate all the love, all the support, all the super chats, all the likes, all the shares, just being here, just participating. Y'all are absolutely the best. Do not forget that tomorrow night, PCP Movie Night, Weird Science, and then Saturday night, Dylan's Horror Show, The Gate. And one more again, let's run through that March Madness shot. The Entity, Manhunter, Dead and Buried, From Beyond, Dolls, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Midsummer, April Fool's Day. March Madness, coming soon to a PCP and DHS near you. All right, y'all. We love you. We're dipping out. Station. Pop, pop. Boom!
lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains. I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things. Gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself.
What's up, y'all? All right, so Bueller sent me a big box of toys because he couldn't fit them in his Bueller bus. And he knew I liked toys, and he knew I liked these type of toys. So I got this box, I opened it up, and I lost my shit. We already showed the big Hulk figure. A lot of these things are Toy Biz. There's some randomness in here, too. Ah, shit. One I left out, I forgot to bring back in, was an Exo Squad figure. I've never had an Exo Squad figure, but I fucking love it. I'll have to show it another time. First up, we got the Movie Maniacs Ash and Evil Ash figures. They're broken, but it's something to work with now. Not going to be too hard to find the pieces you need to kind of make this stuff work. I used to have these. So this was a big thing for me. There's a Marvel Legends Namor. It's dope. This appears to me to be a Jeff Goldblum figure. I don't know. Maybe from ID4 or something? That's all I can think of. I don't know what this is, but I feel like it's something from Family Guy or some shit. Got a couple Captain America figures here. None of them with wings on the head, but there they are. One of them, I know, this one is from Avengers United. I think this one might be the one from that Spider-Man line, maybe? I don't know. But those are dope. There is a Scorpion figure right there from the Spider-Man animated series. I remember seeing this on the set of the Coughing Comics video, so that's fucking awesome. I always wanted that again. Speaking of Spider-Man, there's the Ben Reilly Spider-Man. That's from the animated series line. Love that fucking line. These are dope. Got a Black Ranger. This is Automorpher. This is a Zack. I have these already, so it's cool. It's always cool to have another one. There's a Cable figure. This, I believe, is Cable 3, I think. Had some, like, communication equipment. Is this a Super Adaptoid? Is that what that is? Someone help me out there. Cyclops, Jim Lee costume. This one was really exciting because I don't have this and I've been wanting it, but it's the Venom figure from Wave 1 of the Spider-Man animated series line, loose. So I got a line on one on card, but I bought one. Yeah, I bought one on card, but I didn't want to open it, so now I don't have to. So thank you, Bueller. Oh my God. We're not done. We're not done. I don't know what this is. But there's that. This is the Falcon. This is a big box of shit. I don't know what this is. There's a Wolverine figure. It looks like it's from like X-Men 2 or something. Hugh Jackman. Look at that. Fuck yeah. Run out of room. I never had this, so I never had a Havoc figure. But there's the 90s Havoc figure from Toy Biz. Fucking dope as shit. I remember the X-Men line that's from. So, here's a Shatterstar 2 figure. So, I got Shatterstar 1 right there. Now, I have a Shatterstar 2 figure with the ponytail still attached, but I don't have his swords. Got the swords now. Fuck yeah. So now I have a complete Shatterstar 2. Bueller's in the house. Station, buddy. Thank you so much. Krusty the Clown. How about this? Mulder and Fox from the X-Files. That's dope as shit. I didn't ever have these figures. So now I have some X-Files. Sasquatch. For all that weird shit they did to him in the Immortal Hulk. Got a Toy Biz Sasquatch. Got a Bishop. Fuck yeah. This Zod from the Superman Man of Steel movie. There's Ray from Transformers. Jesus Christ. Take away my nerd card. Ray from Ghostbusters. Jesus. Strong Guy. Toy Biz. I love these Toy Bizes. This is like the best. There's an Archangel without his wings. So it's like a variant. So it's like when his wings like get pulled in. It's cool. It's not a variant. It's just the wings are broken. But it's still badass. This is the web swinging Spidey. It's from the animated series. That's a really cool one to like hang up somewhere. Also from that series later on, but Spider-Man 2099. Miguel O'Hara. Hell yeah. This looks like it's a Deadpool Hot Wheels chimichanga truck or whatever. That's dope. This dude is Kane. That's Weapon X. This is the second Kane figure. He's supposed to have these blades here, but those are broken off. But yeah, that's the Kane figure. He was really scrawny, his first one. I have it over there, but the second one's pretty fucking dope. I love that figure. Corsair, father of Cyclops and Havoc. So I got the whole family here. Well, we don't have Vulcan. Got the whole family. How nice. How nice of Bueller to keep the family together. It's like if you got 3 casts that are really close to each other, you got to give them all to the same person. Hawkeye. This is the Wolverine Weapon X figure. I love that figure. There's a Gideon with the most annoying part of Gideon taken off. The ponytail. But now he's got a man bun. So man bun Gideon. One-armed Nightcrawler. I just love that Bueller's like, this figure's only got one arm. Fuck it. Throw it in the box. I love it. Here's a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from Empire Strikes Back when he finds out that Green Goblin is his father. Magneto from X-Men Series 1. He's got magnets in his chest. This is some chick from Alpha Flight, but I don't know who that is. I got Morpheus. Now this Morpheus comes sitting on a chair. There is no chair here, so it's just Morpheus in an odd position, but that's still pretty fucking BA. I'll get a goddamn chair. That's dope. There's some of these things in there. That's Ronin? Whatever this is. Oh shit, I had a cable. Hold on, let's redo the family portrait. I'm sorry, I forgot. Gotta redo the family portrait now. There you go. Cheese, say cheese. Here's a Black Widow. There's a Kyle Rayner Green Lantern Total Justice action figure. Love the Total Justice line. They're so fucking extreme. Look at that hand. Like, what the fuck is going on there? He's like, rah! Love it. Oh, there's Nightcrawler's arm. It just teleported away. This is neat because this is a Manny Faces vintage action figure with a man. It looks like it's a Man-at-Arms arm and a Zodak arm or some shit, but pretty fucking dope. I love it. I mean, he should, like, if he becomes monster, his arm's a monster too. I like that. That's a cool variant type thing to have in the collection. That shit's my shit. All right, got these, like, they're really heavy. I guess they're, like, not necessarily tops or whatever, but I guess they are kind of tops. But there's a Captain America, a Hulk, a Daredevil, and a Thor. So, yeah, that's it. Oh, and then there's a Donald Duck Pez dispenser. It looks rather old school. I don't know if it's old school, but it looks old school. So that's really fucking cool. And like I said, yeah, there's an Exo Squad figure. But I left it in the living room. And then there's this Spider-Man animation cell that everybody got in those Spider-Man books back in the day. Those are cool. Whenever I see those out in the wild, I snatch them up. All right. Yeah, Manny Faces. That's Manny Faces, but he's got Man-at-Arms arm and a different arm from another dude. I think. The arms are switched up, but it looks fucking cool. Bishop looked like he went down on a Smurf. That Havoc does look great, man. All right, anyway, thank you so much, Bueller. Love you, buddy. Have a good travel, because I know you're getting ready to go. Man. It's a new era here on Comics YouTube. We love y'all. All right, so I found the Exo Squad figure. This looks pretty relatively... I'm not an expert. It looks fairly fucking complete. So if it's missing anything, it's just missing a little bit. But yeah, that was so badass. I never had an Exo Squad figure. They're not the easiest to find nowadays. This fucking cartoon was awesome. This toy line is awesome. But I was kind of not necessarily buying a lot of toys. I was focusing on other things. But this is fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. Exo Squad. Watch Exo Squad. If they were on Tubi. I don't know if they still are. But Bueller. Dude, killer. Fucking killer. You'll see this stuff spread throughout the studios. Ha ha! Hell yeah.
Hey Dynamite fans, I literally have a minute because we are getting ready for a show, so I wanted to give you a quick sneak peek of what's going to be on this Monday show, February 21st. We're going to have Wolverine and Teen Titans, and we're also going to have Ninja Turtles. How cool is that? And even some Action Comics number 1000. I'm pretty sure this is Brian Michael Bendis' signature. So Monday, February 21st, 6 p.m., only on The Experience. Rex is going to be there. I'm going to be there. John's going to be there. Even Robbie's going to be there. So please come check us out. Hope to see you there.